Never a dull day. Never a dull day. Rookie minicamp starting up. Oh, by the way, appointment setting television last night. Watching LaFraud get knocked out of the playoffs. By the Minnesota T-Wolves. I don't really even care about basketball, but I loved that last night. National media was like building up the Lakers potentially. Oh, and for the record, add this to LeBron's great resume. It's the first time that the Los Angeles Lakers were ranked either 1, 2, or 3 in the Western Conference, that they got bounced in the opening round. Nice. That's what you're talking about, building that legacy to try to go after the GOAT. Don't ever tell me again LeBron is one of the 5 greatest players. Would you take that? Now, I'll tell you something. I got to be fair to this. This guy is 40 years old. And what he's doing, how about this? LeBron's the GOAT of longevity in the NBA. I'll give him that. Nobody's ever done the things that he's done at his age. And I think that is kudos to him. Hey, when you're 40 and you're still dropping 26 and 10 in, that's like the greatest 40-year-old NBA player of all time. Not even Kareem was doing that. So you got to give that to him. Wait a minute. He earned that. He earned that. When you're a professional athlete, you don't give anybody anything unless you're Shedeur Sanders. He earned that. 40 years old. This guy's producing 26 and 10. Bro, that's Shaq numbers, and he's 40. So kudos in what his impact is. By the way, Luka Doncic, I'm going to say this to you about Luka. Does that guy, seriously, does he forget his Midol pill sometimes? This guy moans on every freaking every shot he takes. He is always complaining to the referees. This guy thinks he's still playing overseas. He is not a physical basketball player. He's a great guy. He's a great-looking player. So as my dad always said, the GOAT of basketball will always be Bill Russell. For his generation, I always said this. Bill Russell's the greatest team sport champion in American sports history. Nobody's won more. Nobody's been more dominant. Let's not forget something. It wasn't just the fact that he got to the Celtics. Bill Russell won 2 back-to-back national championships at the University of San Francisco. Have you ever heard of San Francisco since then? Honestly, have you heard of the Dons? This guy won 2 back-to-back national titles, then turned around and won all those NBA championships with the Boston Celtics. His impact is insane. Dude, I would put these guys down. If I had to put my top 5 NBA players, it's MJ, it's Magic Johnson, it's Kareem, it's Kobe, and then it's LeBron. You think LeBron James is better than Kobe Bryant? I don't see it. I don't see that. So don't to be my 5. Now, I know, Wilt's always the outlier here in this because you got to look at Wilt and what he accomplished and who he was. His name always gets kind of skirted over a little bit for whatever reason. This guy went 50 and 25 one year. So me, it's MJ, Magic Johnson, Kareem. Kareem's the greatest basketball player of all time. Actually, I'm talking about the biggest impact in the NBA. But overall, Power Memorial when he was in New York City. This guy won those state championships. He won all those titles at UCLA. Then he turned around and won 6 NBA championships. Abdul-Jabbar, the only reason that you would name other people is because Kareem needed Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson to conclude the deal to being an NBA championship. I'd put Bird up there too, man. I'd put Bird 6, but LeBron's better than Bird. Okay? The skyhook was insane. So that was good TV. I cannot believe Xander will like this. I can't believe the Panthers are better than the Lightning. Vasilevsky, man, he could not stop the Florida Panthers. They knocked them out also in 5. They're probably going to win the Stanley Cup. So you got all that going on. And then tomorrow starts rookie camp for the Philadelphia Eagles and on Saturday. So you got 2 days of rookie camp. I'm going to get to that here in a minute. Okay? I'll get you a little bit of what goes on. Rudy Gobert last night, what was he, 27 and 24? Insane last night. Yeah, I mean, no question about it. We're in a good time right now for sports. All right. So before we get into the topics, by the way, Philly 500 will join us at 4:30. Our boy Xander will hit us up at 3:30. Hit the like button. All super chats, which have been insane. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. By the way, we got some news for some of you guys. You guys are going to be able to. Big Steels is going to go back on the radio next Sunday in Tampa. So we're going to be talking live, and we're starting to get it going again. So we're going to be going on in Tampa next Sunday. We're looking forward to that as well. Nothing will take away from what we're doing here. This is the benchmark. We're going to build around it. Okay? Hit that like button. All right. What is rookie camp? How many people in here actually know how important rookie camp is? How many people know what rookie camp is? Do you know what rookie camp is? What it entails? What's the most important thing? Cam's a great player. You moving to Tampa, Sills? No. Greatest thing about broadcasting today, I could do this show or any show on the moon. Big Sills will get a few FCC violations. We've already been down that road, big bro. We've already been down that road, okay? All right. What do you think the most important thing about rookie minicamp, and what is it exactly? What do you think it is and how important it is? How important is that? You think rookie camp? And what does it entail? Let me get that here. I want to make sure, because I wrote some cliff notes down, and I'll give you a little bit of what rookie camp is. Also, too, by the way, Howie Roseman spoke on the Rich Eisen show. I want to get that, too, also a little bit. What do you think it is? Attendance? Evaluation? See what Bob says. Rookie camp allows coaches to see how you handle classwork and bonding for the kids. Yeah, that's an overall view of it. Here's what you do. Every single kid, just like in a regular classroom, is completely different in how they retain information. So what a coach will do is a coach will give you your playbook. And by the way, they're as big as a Tokyo phone book. I mean, when you look at these NFL playbooks, they have tendencies, blitzes, stunts, how you play run defense, formations, everything on how you're going to counteract every time you see something on a football field. The work is in the classroom, like Bob's saying here, more so than anything. And what they do is they inundate you with as much information as possible. And you know what they'll do? They'll sit back with a pencil. Vic Fangio will. And he'll sit back with a pencil and go, okay, we told that one player one time what a gap crash defense was out of a 34 look with a banjo cover and a 2 deep high safety. And he got it on the second attempt. This other guy's still struggling. That allows coaches to know immediately who you can trust. Remember something, that has to match up. Does the kid know what he's doing? And does the kid not know what he's doing? I don't care how good you are. Athleticism has nothing to do with playing time. Not if you don't know where to line up. It's about retaining information. So what they do with the rookies, it's why they don't have any veterans on the field. They don't put veterans on the field because they don't want a vet going, you got to line up a little bit wider in a 3. Or you got to cut that gap down. Got to make sure that 2 technique can't shoot the gap on you here. You'll blow the play up. That's what veteran players do. Hey, close that gap, dude. You're creating too much space in the middle here, and it's harder for me because that guy can get an inside release on me and beat me right to the quarterback. What's the fastest way to a quarterback? Inside pass rush moves. So you don't want somebody talking to you like that. So you're sitting there as a young player going, do I line up in a 2 technique, a 3 technique? Ha! That's exactly what it is. And you get caught sometimes with your dick in your hand because you're like, then the coach will come to you and go, didn't you hear what I say? Kane's 43, 2 gap, high safety 5. What do you do? I don't know. It's funny, I asked my wife is a coach. I told you guys. She coaches the rugby kids. And she'll look at every single kid and go, hey, I want you to do this particular technique here. I want you to do this. And she'll look at the kids in the face and go, how many kids know what I'm talking about? They'll all say, yeah, I know what they're doing. Same thing with NFL guys. They don't know what they're doing. Half the room doesn't even know what they're talking about. Just imagine talking to 12, 13-year-olds. They have no idea what she said because they don't retain it. That's exactly what rookie camp is. How fast and how much can you retain? And they come like this at you. Boom, boom, boom. And then before you know it, what it does, it humbles you because you're so used to a different language. Look, learning a defense like Vic Fangio's is like learning Portuguese. That's why when you guys think these rookie guys are just going to parachute in and take the roles over for Milton Williams and Josh Sweat, you're fucking high. It doesn't work like that. It never has. And it never will. You got special guys last year who were able to fit in, and Vic knew how to fit them in Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. That doesn't happen. That is not a common theme. So rookie camp is going to tell them who has football IQ. Who doesn't? Do you realize right there what I'm telling you is 75% of how you make a football team? You could run the fastest 40. You could be the strongest player. You don't know where to line up. What's the point? That is exactly what rookie camp is. It's not sitting around going like this. Hey, so we got a really great player in the draft and all of that stuff now with the evaluation that he had in college is out the way. They want to see how much you retain. By the way, this is not an indictment on how smart you are. This is an indictment, or will be, on your football IQ. There's some guys that I played with that couldn't balance a checkbook. You put them on a football field, they could dissect every position. They're just savants. That's what Brady was. That's what Jalen's becoming. Dude, it's about the smarts in the game. Physicality got you in the door. Okay? That got you in the... Hey, guess what? He's fast. He's strong. He's a really good athlete. Well, welcome to the NFL. Every guy's that. That's not special. Running the 4.4 is not special if it doesn't translate to the NFL. You can have the greatest bench press. You can have the fastest 40. You can have the greatest vertical jump. If you can't translate all that to the league with football IQ, means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. So when people just dismiss rookie camp, Vic Fangio's going to find out who's got football IQ. I'll tell you this, and I'll make this point to you. Zach Bond, Jalen Carter, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, those guys are smart football players. Those guys retain a ton of information. And you know why they can retain? Why do you think those guys can retain a ton of information? What did Vic Fangio do? So it made the transition easier, which I wish I had. Dude, I went from a 3 technique to a nose. I didn't even know what they were talking about with too high shade or a turn slant. I didn't know what that was. I'd never heard of it. What's the one thing that makes the transition in Philly almost easier than any place in the NFL, especially defensively? Hit that like button, guys. Thank you. What do you think? Oh, yes. You have written tests at every meeting. A coach will go to you and go, what did we study today? What he'll do is he'll draw it up on the board. You'll go it on the field. You'll go back in the classroom right after, and you'll get a quiz. They're trying to find out how much football IQ you have. Here's the one thing for you guys all to know, again, how this all works here. Okay? Rookie minicamp is very mentally taxing. Okay? Vic Fangio, they all recruit guys who play zone defenses and get this, are good blitzers and versatile up and down the front seven. The transition's easy. The only thing the kids have to learn is terminology. Many of the guys that you have in the draft and many of the guys that they brought in as free agents, these guys played zone defenses. The NFL is now littered with zone defenses. They don't look, the Eagles look at everybody. They don't sign everybody because not everybody's going to translate their game. Guys, if I told you this, the smartest teams win Super Bowls. Okay? Not the most athletic. That defense a year ago, every single guy knew their role. You know, the greatest basketball team, in my opinion, and greatest sports team, in my opinion, is the 98 Bulls. Why? Rodman knew his role as a rebounder. Scottie Pippen knew his role as a Robin. Michael Jordan knew his role. Bill Cartwright, Luke Longley, Tony Kukoc, everybody knew, Horace Grant. Those guys all knew their roles. Last year, everybody on the Eagle defense knew their role because it was defined by the architect. That's what made that team great. Nobody was trying to get out of their sandbox. I say this to you guys, and I bring this up. My daughter plays rugby, and I've never seen a person. My daughter's not the best player on the field. You know what she is, though? The most valuable. Because my kid can play here, there, over here, and she ties it all together. That's why she was a 3-year captain. Her team shit the bed last year, or this past year, because why? She wasn't out there keeping it together. And you saw it when you watched that team play. And they may have been more talented. That don't mean they're that smarter. Her team a year ago was not smarter. I mean, her team a year ago was smarter than the one that they had this year. Why? Everyone knew their role. That's the difference between a championship team and a team filled with great athletes. Her team this year had great players, didn't have great leadership. That's a role. Especially when you're down with 2 minutes left in a game. Every team has that knowledge. That's where Brady's. I'd say this to you guys all the time. Aaron Rodgers is the most gifted quarterback to ever play. If I had 2 minutes left in a ball game, you think I'm taking Aaron Rodgers over Tom Brady? Never happened. Or Montana? Dude, Montana's the greatest player I've ever seen in 2-minute drill. Nobody's better. I've never seen a guy like that. Just take a football team, go right down the field, no matter if it's 90 yards or 9 yards, and win. He never lost. It's like Jordan. Nobody's beating Jordan with 2 minutes left. Hit the like button, guys. That's what we're looking for. You know what happens when you go to these mini camps? All of a sudden, the kid will pop out. Let me tell you, last year in training camp in the OTAs, you know what stood out to Vic Fangio? Zach Bond was smarter than Devin White. Devin White was a better athlete. Dude, you're not the 5th pick in the draft for no reason. You're not a former All-Pro. You're a Super Bowl MVP at 23. Why didn't he make the team? Vic didn't trust him. Vic didn't think he knew how to handle the scheme. He's worried about other shit. Zach Bond just wanted to be a football player. And he was smarter than Zach Bond. Why do you think somebody's why do you think Trotter has a shot to start opening week that Thursday night as the banner falls at Lincoln Financial? You know why? His dad's prepped him. This is what you're going to see. When you see splits, do you know how many times Trotter Jr. must have been over tape with his pop and his pop asking him, what do you see? Do you know that in pre-snap, an inside linebacker probably has a great sense of where the play is going already? You know how? By splits. If you see wide splits, you're looking inside, and the opposite side of the O-line has tight splits. What are they trying to do? They're trying to get out wide. And they may run a counter tray. You got to keep with your techniques. I say this all the time, and if I had anything to say to some of the young players, don't ever watch the ball. The ball will take you further away from the play. The technique will take you to the play. Do you know how many young players, they constantly run the ball? You know why? Like I said, I'm going to use another example. My daughter has like a pass fake that a team does. Why? Because players watch the ball. If you are a good defender, you never watch the ball. You watch your technique in front of you. Guy has tight splits. He's trying to get out wide. Wide splits are trying to get up the middle and run you in the A-gap. The guy's sitting back on one side, guy's leaning forward, he's trapping. Watch for the wham coming back on the opposite side from the tight end. When I see a guy in front of me go right, I automatically look back inside because it's probably a trap, or I got the tight end coming down on me trying to wham block me. That's all shit that you accumulate with years of playing. They want to see how smart you are. It's true. It becomes a process. You know how many guys are going to get out there tomorrow and that know their hand from their ass? 80% of them. Jesus Christ. And you know what you see in this? I'm going to tell you something, the difference between the NFL and college football. College football, the plays, and if you play enough, like I said, I never in my entire life was blocked in college that I can remember. In the NFL, those guys are just as strong, just as fast. Comes down to technique. Those guys are technicians and strong and fast and good. That's why I tell my kids sometimes when you're playing against a great team, hey, welcome to the big leagues. Those guys are good too. Hey, you get blocked in the NFL because you know why? Hey, they're good too. That's what it's about when you go up. When you climb levels and you're at the pinnacle, right? You're in the pinnacle starting tomorrow. You're at the pinnacle. Hey, these guys are good too. So when a guy knocks you on your ass and you're not saying on your bonnet, your helmet, that's Lawrence Taylor if he's ever been bounced on his head. Everyone's been bounced on their head. That's true. The more reps you get, the more it gets better. And the game slows down the more reps you get. That's one of the coolest things that you get with Jeff Stoutland that I love. You know what it is? This guy gives you reps the same way he gives the first team guys. I was telling Chris Hinton that. He goes, that's unheard of. Did you hear Chris Hinton? Did you hear Chris Hinton, an 8-time fucking Pro Bowler, tell you that that was unprecedented to hear how Jeff Stoutland coaches his guys? He said it's unprecedented. Nobody coaches like that. Well, that's why he's the best. And that's what Stoutland will be doing with these young guys. The coolest thing that I love about Jeff Stoutland and these camps with these young players, it doesn't matter if you're a first rounder, third rounder, seventh rounder. You're going to be coached like you're Lane Johnson. That's why the Eagles have great assistant coaches. I'll tell you, the strength of your football team is not just your O-line, it's your coaching staff and the assistants. Clint Hurt, Bobby King, Jeff Stoutland. Shit, man, there's a great group of dudes that are going to be coordinators in this league and head coaches. There is somebody on that coaching staff right now. Shit, Michael Clay may turn out to be an NFL head coach somewhere. I mean, so speaking of Ricky Minicamp, what do you think of UDFA? Rucker from UNC looks like a player. We'll find out. UDFAs. I'll tell you something, man. Remember something here, Slager. Half the league is built up of players that are late round guys, guys who've never been drafted. Because what's the line you guys always give me? And Sills, not everybody can be paid. That's why half the league is built of UDFAs. By the way, you got to start. Hey, to show you how great what Slager's saying, do the Eagles have a UDFA starting in their 22 right now? Do you have a UDFA starting right now in your 22? Your top 22 guys. Do you have a UDFA? Todd Bowles was once an assistant coach here in Philly. I love Todd Bowles. He invited, by the way, Blankenship. Reed Blankenship is a UDFA. You got an undrafted free agent starting in your secondary who might sign a contract for $10 million. That's freaking great. That is so great. You know, we didn't really see it when he came out in the evaluation. Hey, Eagles sign him, and now all of a sudden, if you had to redraft Reed, he's a third rounder. Guy who wasn't drafted is now a third rounder. That's a big pick. It's a big pick. Let me tell you guys, this is where you're going to find out who's smart, who's not. Okay? I can't tell you the knowledge of the game, how important it is. At times, it's more important than the concept of your ability. You know why Howie is dipping into great programs? Because they're complicated defensive schemes. Ohio State's got a complicated defensive scheme. Offense, too, back in the day with Chip last year. Georgia has a complicated defensive scheme. Just so you know, that's why dude, drafting is so difficult. By the way, Howie Roseman's on a roll like you're on a roll at the casino. You can have it's like being a guy who predicts earthquakes or hurricanes. You have the science to it. You know what to expect if the water's this way. You know when the barometric pressure's falling. You kind of put yourself in a position to know that the circumstances are right for a hurricane or an earthquake. That's what drafting is. You guys are just thinking that he solved the riddle. He's not solved the riddle. He's on a good roll like he's in Vegas. You don't, Howie said it on the Rich Eisen show. The draft will humble you in a minute. The moment you draft a guy like Cam Jurgens, okay? You turn around, you draft Andre Dillard. Shit. And it kind of balances out. You're okay with it. Believe me, I don't care what the round is. If you find a starter you're not looking for Pro Bowlers. You're looking for starters. If you get a guy that starts and you get a starter no matter what the round is, if you had drafted somebody a couple years earlier and he was that washes that. Here, Bryce Huff's shitty contract. Zach Bond's great contract. Okay? That's how you balance it. You're looking to balance this. Okay? All right. Going to get off the first page here. We're going to get to some of the topics here. We'll talk about, by the way, I think we should start with Howie talking on the Eisen show. I went back and listened to that. It wasn't long. It was about 7 minutes. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Supers go to the top. You see Georgia offense going into Porter, losing Monken. Hey, yeah, they weren't as effective over the last couple of years because look at the impact that Monken has made on the passing game in Baltimore. Absolutely. Todd Monken has been an enormous impact when it comes to that. Absolutely on the direction of Lamar Jackson. Absolutely true. All right. So here's Howie on the Rich Eisen show. And I thought he was, I'll tell you something, man. This guy nationally is not going to give you anything. He is not ever going to divulge how he does business, how he looks at things. And I think it's the smartest way to do it because you know what? You don't leave yourself open for interpretation. And that's not what he doesn't want anybody to come away from an interview thinking he meant this. I actually like it. More questions about the health of JAKIB Campbell, linebacker. 2 knees, 2 shoulders. There's no doubt how he was looking for a deal. It's like buying the showroom car and the car who has been kind of used, not really with a lot of miles on it, but it doesn't really have all the particulars that you want. It's not a completely loaded car. You see it, you're trying to get a deal on it, and you got yourself a deal. You got value. Here's the case. Did the Eagles sign a guy at 31, even though he has a bunch of injuries, and he's coming to the football team with a bunch of injuries? Did the Eagles get more value out of that? Yeah, that's a risk. $3 million, 3.3 over the next 3 years, 4 years. That's a risk I'm willing to take at 31. Remember, you're only paying him $3.3 million to see if you're going to find yourself a guy who could be a Swiss Army knife in your defense and versatile, or a guy who should have went maybe 10 or maybe 15th. Yeah, I'm going to take that shot. The guy's a ball player. If that guy never plays in Philadelphia, if JAKIB Campbell never plays, it was still worth the pick. Because that guy should have gone 15. I'll tell you this. If that guy hits, you'll wish you took him 10th. And if he doesn't, he was injured. Okay. So to me, a $3.3 million a year guy, and if he doesn't pan out, I'm good with that. That's not an issue. I think it's a value pick, especially if the value comes out where the guy ends up being a superstar football player. And I think he's going to be. Let me tell you something. I got talked out of it by people in the Philadelphia media. Well, he's not taking a linebacker because my initial take was How does this not a perfect? That's exactly my words. I went back and watched it. My words were exactly, how is this not a perfect Vic Fangio guy? You could put him on the edge. You could put him inside. You could move him up and down the front seven. How is this guy not Zach Bond in college? Oh, he won't take a linebacker. Hey, well, he's blowing all the conventional wisdoms out of the water here. Paying running backs, paying linebackers, drafting linebackers. Nothing's off the table. I'll tell you this. Your offense is more predictable than Howie Roseman is. Howie Roseman is unpredictable, which is great for a GM. That's an innate ability to be able to get people with their pants down. And by the way, I hear the stupidest thing on the planet. You know what the stupidest new thing going around is? Hey, every time they see the 215 call in, oh my God, I'm not picking it up because it's Howie Roseman. Why in the fuck wouldn't you pick that up, finding out what the value of your player is? And you have a guy who's now becoming really good at identifying pro personnel. Why wouldn't you want to hear this? Hey, you know that guy you have that's a free safety that you're not playing, he's in special teams? Hey, what do you think of that kid? What do you think we could do trying to make a deal here to try to get a trade? I'd be like, I'll get back with you. I'd hang up immediately, and I'd go like this. Did you see what that fucking guy did to Zach Bond? He sat down there in New Orleans for 5 years on his special teams. Why isn't that guy being evaluated better? And it would make me go back with my coaches and my talent evaluators going, what are we missing that they're seeing? They make you better. What are we missing? That's what the advantage of Howie calling you is. Dude, don't listen to the media people. They're stupid. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. How would they know, never being in that room? Okay? I mean, Howie calls you. You answer that phone immediately. Because then you also get this. Well, they think a high value of my player. They want to try to make a trade for him. We must be missing something. What are we missing? Then you look at how they would potentially use them, and I would say, deal's off. You wouldn't call me anymore. If I was the general manager of the team and Howie wanted to keep calling me, I'd take the call every day. If he identified a player on my team, unless it was for salary cap, and I had to get off that player, I would never make a trade unless it was something I thought it was beneficial for me. Because if you took C.J. Gardner-Johnson a week before the season started, and I had him sitting there at corner, and all of a sudden they drop him at safety, and he turns out to be a 12-interception guy in the 2 years of the Super Bowl, that's a failure. That's a failure. You know, I loved what he said about this. 2022. And in 2023, he said that after the Super Bowl appearance and all that, he said the one thing that they didn't do a better job of was making sure that they planned for the future. Same thing they did in 18 after the Super Bowl. They didn't prepare for the upcoming 3 years. I think they're overcooking that now. I think they care more about 26 and 27 than keeping focused on 25 and what they're going to do this year. You're not better. And I don't know if you're worse, but you're surely not better. Just by some of the things I just told you about with rookie camp. You guys are like this. This guy, Ty Robinson's going to roll in. And you think Ty Robinson's going to beat out Moro Jomo? Fucking never. Unless Moro Jomo's not. Hey, I did some work on Moro Jomo. Do we have a topic on him? I do. So let me get here. Moro Jomo, he's got to get bigger. He's got to get faster. He's got to get stronger. And he's a one-dimensional guy. He's not a run defender. He's a pass rusher. That guy's not setting the fucking edge. He's undersized. And you're going to play him 7. This is where you guys are like, well, he'll take over for. No, he won't. He's not big enough. He's not strong enough. And I don't believe he can play out there 3 downs. I think he's a pass rusher. I don't think he's anything more than that. He's an undersized defensive end who you're sitting there thinking is going to take over for Milton. You guys have underestimated how good that player was and how versatile he was. Moro Ojomo is nowhere near that player. Nowhere near that player. Okay? Nowhere. I think the kid Ty Robinson has a great chance of beating him out. Ojomo's a 3rd down pass rusher. He's not a 1st and 2nd down guy. Okay? I said that Dean was too small. He is too small. He ain't getting a 2nd contract. You fucking forget that guy. Nobody pays people you don't need to win a Super Bowl. I don't need Dean. I didn't need him in the Super Bowl run. I had a free agent walk in who was a free agent that we put in. Oren Burks did the same job. I did the same job. Dean was not more any special than Oren. Hey, Oren Burks was more special in the playoffs than Dean ever was throughout the whole entire year. And Dean was good. Burks had 46 tackles in the postseason. And was outstanding in the Super Bowl. He's the Carson Wentz of linebackers. Didn't need him. Moro Ojomo was an undersized defensive end. Plain and simple. I mean, I look at him, and you put his tape on, and then you look at his size. Again, when you have a chance to talk to Clint Hurt, Clint's not going to say that, but I'm like, that guy's undersized, man. He ain't going to hold up. 17 weeks playing D-end against some of the top-flight guys because you're going to be lined up over there on that top side there with your left tackles. That guy's going against the premier tackles in the game? No way. No way. No way. He's undersized. Then again, he's a 7th rounder. I mean, I don't know what you're expecting. All right. Something else he said. Jahad Campbell. Loved his attitude. In fact, he's a Jersey kid. Whole 9 yards, IMG, Bama. Yeah, I get it. I see it. I see the gamble. He talked about the Texas safety. This is what he said. Explosive player. See, that's one of my favorite words too. Makuba, I like the word explosive. That means playmaker to me. Get this too. He said that Mabuka wanted to be challenged more and didn't think he was being challenged in the ACC at Clemson. I'm going to tell you guys, that's how I felt about Maryland. Playing in the ACC versus playing the independent schedule that I did at Miami was night and day. And the players on our roster was night and day. Even though that Maryland team was good, I didn't think the ACC offered me anything either. I'm playing Florida State. I don't want to be playing Duke and NC State and Wake Forest. Okay? I think that hurts the Hurricanes now. So the kid's got a good mentality. By the way, here's something else that's a key to this. He's a smart player. He's versatile. You can put him anywhere. He recognizes things quick. He's got football IQ. Same shit I'm talking about right now. That's the key to this thing. The question with this kid, Mabuka, is going to be if he could stay on the field or not. It's not if he's not a good football player. It's if this guy can stay on the field and play as big as his effort is. He's an undersized kid. But again, remember something about today's NFL. The league is undersized itself because the game is played in space, and 68% of the time you're a nickel. That's all you need. You need to understand that. This is not the NFL of 15 years ago where you had to have Ronnie Lott and Cam Chancellor. Shit, 10 years ago. I get it. RC3. Look, RC3. You see that right there? 10 years ago, that's small. Now, I don't know. Can he play? Don't get caught up in the measurables. Get caught up in the production. Does he produce? Does he produce? Is he a guy that produces? Okay, is he? Is he a guy that will give you numbers and go out and make play? I'm looking for guys. Do me a favor, guys. Xander brings this up. He's not wrong. But I'm saying this. You think Jeff Stoutland looks at that and goes 5'11", 194? No. But he will say this to you. He's undersized. And he'll make sure you know that. Why? Why does he constantly tell you Nolan Smith's undersized? Because he's trying to accentuate what? His effort and his tenacity in how he plays. It's not the biggest. Here's Nolan Smith. Every single time that he talks about Nolan Smith, he says this. And for an undersized guy, he plays like a dog. Plays with great effort. He plays with great tenacity. He runs to the football. And he's accentuating his assets more than he is the liability of being an undersized player. And that's exactly what he's going to do with Mabuka. Yeah, because you know why? He's talking to the player through the media going like this. I'm not getting caught up in 5'11", 194. Guy's an undersized guy, but I'll tell you what, he plays like he's 6'10". You want to hear that as a player. You know the reason? Hey, let me tell you this. Why do you think that this kid got drafted in the second round? Only reason, 5'11", 194. That's it. 5'11", 194. Okay? That's it. That's the only reason he's taken in the second round. Because if he was this much taller, he'd be the 13th pick in the draft. Don't get caught up on measurables. All right. He likes Ty Robinson. He was their number one guy on the board at that particular time in the draft. They went with best player. He stayed away from the Shedeur Sanders conversation, which is brilliant. Why? Philadelphia's got their own noise. They don't need to add to the noise. That there is just bringing more unwanted, stupid noise to your locker room, talking about the general manager talking about Shedeur Sanders. Let me tell you something. The Philadelphia Eagles talking about Shedeur Sanders is so stupid. They're the defending world champions. They're not going to sit around and talk about a fifth-round guy that's not on their team because they don't have to, and nor do they care. This is the big boy league. The media has a different way of looking at shit and covering stuff. Isn't it funny? Dual Carter. Who was the guy in the Eagles that had also some prank calls? Said he had some prank calls himself that was sent to him. And everybody had prank calls, but all of a sudden now we're supposed to feel sorry for Shedeur Sanders because he's Deion's kid, that the kid had prank calls. Give me a break. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I tell you what, as far as I'm concerned with Shedeur Sanders, I don't give a fuck about that kid. Go earn something for the first time in your life. Go earn it. I could care less. Right now, you're like the scene out of Bull Durham. You know what that is? Go earn it, meat. It's right, Flex. It's annoying. Hey, great, you're Deion's kid. How long is that going to hang around your neck? Bring on Terrence Kington. He coached Ty Robinson, went to Temple, and has one Super Bowl appearance. Let me tell you something. That organization turns over every single stone they possibly can. Yeah, I'm over the Shadors. I don't care any longer. I really don't. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to start calling him Bronny Sanders. Okay, he's Bronny Sanders. Bronny Sanders. Oh, you're so unbelievable. You know, he got treated. Hey, he got treated bad. Welcome to the NFL. Hey, son, if that's the only thing you think that the NFL is going to do to you, is have somebody prank call you, you better get that sphincter muscle tightened up a bit, because the NFL picks and talks shit to everybody. You know why? You're cattle. Don't give a shit about you. The moment that the NFL drafts you, they're looking to replace you with someone cheaper. Don't give a shit about anything. And then the worst thing is, he goes to the Browns, who the Browns can't get shit right. You want to hear this? Since the Browns, I think it's early 90s, since the Browns have been back in Cleveland as an expansion team, they've had 53 different quarterbacks in like 25 years. How are they ever going to get that right? They're never going to get that right. You know why? Because leadership bleeds down, not up. You can't be a great coach in that facility. Bill Belichick couldn't do it. And you think all of a sudden Shador Sanders is going to turn the Browns around when Bill Belichick couldn't. It's ownership. That guy doesn't know his ass from a handbasket. That's why when you get drafted to Philly and you get drafted to Philadelphia, hey, we can debate all kinds of dumb shit they do, but they're dumb shits in one hand. When you're talking to Jets and Cleveland, it's in bushels. Like, seriously, what the Eagles probably do, what, 5 shitty things? The Browns do probably 5,000 shitty things. That's the difference. I mean, hey. I mean, look at this. The Eagles have always made a priority to try to get the GM right, quarterback right, and the head coach right. Look at the winning places. That's the number 1, 2, 3 things you have to get. You have to have that trifecta. Got to have GM, got to have the head coach, and you got to name me a Super Bowl winning franchise in the history of the league that doesn't have that dynamic set up. Any franchise, owner, Kraft, Belichick, Brady, I don't know, Walsh, Montana, Young, and DeBartolo. I don't know. Pat Bowlen, John Elway, and Mike Shanahan. I don't know. Just me. If you don't have that set up, you can't win. The Hunts, Veach, Reed, Mahomes. I don't know. How can that Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson, Troy Aikman. I don't know. Hey, here's Jerry's fault the last 30 years. There's no Jimmy and there's no Troy. It's just Jerry. And Jerry doesn't think he needs the other two. Well, 30 years later, I wonder if he ever got that through his dumbhead. Unfortunately, he didn't. That's where you give credit to Jeffrey Lurie. He empowers his people to make decisions. Even though he wants to be involved, it's all right. Again, everybody's got stupid shit on the table. Okay? No mistakes. This, right now, there's the start of the 2025 pursuit of getting back to the playoffs started with the beginning of free agency, and now you're through it. And the next big date is June 1. Let's see if Howie said anything else. No, he didn't say anything else. Here, value has to be right. And that's what we were doing constantly in the draft and our positioning on where we were. It has to be right. They didn't pick need. They looked at the best kid on the table, just like you're picking wiffle ball. I'll take him. I'll take him. No, I'll take him. I'll take him. I'll take him. Who's left? I'll take him. It's not hard. But what organizations do, they overcook it. Think they're trying to recreate the wheel. And if you ever draft for need, you will never get the draft right. Like I said, if you're picking somebody to be on a pickup basketball team or a softball team, you wouldn't pick, I need a catcher. I'm going to pick the best guy to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's how people get the draft wrong. Well, I'm going to pick a first baseman. Well, what if he's the shittiest player in the whole 10 guys you're picking from? You're going to pick a shitty first baseman when you got 7 other guys who are better? That's missing in the draft. I'm taking the 7 best guys that are left at each round. Well, I need a corner. Well, guess what? He sucks. I'm taking that tight end. That's how you don't get wrong and make decisions that will end up being detrimental and having to cut players and never get the draft right. How do you think Jalen Hurts got to the Eagles? Howie Roseman, when all of you hated the pick, 90% of the people that are in here now that kiss this guy's ass hated the pick of Jalen Hurts when he was taken. You hated it. And you know it. But how did he get picked by the Eagles? Howie saw the best player at that position. They needed a safety belt for Wentz because Wentz started getting injured. But listen here. Remember something. I didn't. Of course not you, dog. They just, get this. Here's M. Reyes bullshitting you. He didn't hate the pick, even though they had just given Carson Wentz a brand new legendary deal that paid him $35 million a year. But he thought the pick in the second round was good. It's my boy. Saying to his word. I love him. He's a good guy, man. RC3. Yeah, but RC3, remember something. The NFL is not a perfect thing. Okay? That's why no take is set in stone. Okay? No take is set in stone. There's no such thing. I don't hold the people who hated the pick and say you flip-flopped on him. The guy became a good player. The NFL's not a perfect science. You know, I see stupid people in here think that if you make a take 5 years ago, that take's still going to be held to you 5 years later. Thank God you didn't do that to Brandon Graham. Or did you? Did you flip-flop on Brandon Graham? Did you? How many people after the first 3 years like the Brandon Graham pick? Okay? Yeah, it was once. I agree with you, Reyes. Reyes, Carson Wentz self-imploded and blew his career up. Get this. And it will always be that way in the NFL. I will absolutely live by that. Absolutely. Because, get this, Well, the common theory was on Saquon Barkley that he never lived up to being a number 2 overall pick in New York. Okay? Derrick Henry was on a shitty Tennessee team too. But all of a sudden he gets to Philly. Now you guys are telling me that he's a Hall of Fame player? How many Pro Bowls did he ever make? 4? 3? I mean, I don't even think he made 4, and he had to make 4. How many people do you think around the league have flip-flopped on Saquon Barkley? Oh, no. Arthur, again, thinks if you make a comment about a player 10 years ago, that same comment is made today. Totally a dumb. He don't get it. He'll never get it. He'll never get it. Here, Brandon Graham's a great example of that. You guys hated him after the first 3 years, right? You hated it. Did you flip-flop on him? Did you? You flip-flopped on Hurts. You flip-flopped on Brandon Graham. Did you not? Okay. According to Arthur, though, Arthur's still going to say Brandon Graham sucks because he said it first 3 years of his career. So according to Arthur, he's not bending off of his take. So Arthur thinks that Brandon Graham sucks because he made a statement in the first 3 years of his career. Right, Arthur? Or did you flip-flop? Tell me. Or did you always think, even though when he was underachieving, you thought he was a good pick? This is when people like to lie. Oh, no, that could happen. Of course not. You thought Brandon Graham was a great pick in the first 3 years when he was completely underachieving. There's your lie. Sorry. Hey, one thing you could say to me. Do I change my opinion on the way players play, Arthur? Yeah. You lie. I change my opinion if a player develops into something and becomes a player. Yeah, the kid played into it, and he's playing great. You lie. He's one of my boys. Hey, I don't either. Dude, you know the coolest thing is a player like Brandon Graham. Hey, man, that kid did not start his career out real well, but look at how it finished. It finished unbelievable. Congratulations. Nobody in here is rooting for a player not to make it. Surely me. Shedeur Sanders, if he goes on and carries a championship to Cleveland like LeBron James, congratulations to you, dude. You proved everyone wrong like Brady proved everyone wrong when Brady went in the 6th round. You think Tom Brady has an ass for everybody that picked him in the 6th round? Hey, get this. Shedeur's no any different than Tom Brady. Tom Brady was told and had his job taken from him at Michigan and said he wasn't very good. He ran a 5.4. My daughter can run a 5.4 40. She's faster than Tom Brady. You don't think that guy has an ass? Every draft year, he posts his Ichabod Crane body and his dad body on what he looked like. And then 7 Super Bowls later, he tells everyone it's not when you're drafted, it's where you're drafted and what you do with opportunity. Tom Brady went like this. Dude, they hated him at Michigan. Lloyd Carr couldn't stand him. How many times they tried to give that job to Drew Henson? Right? Shedeur's no different than Brady. But the media wants to make him different because he's black. And he's Deion's kid. Bro. That's got nothing to do with making a football team and your teammates. Dude, Jalen Hurts being a black quarterback has nothing to do with teams rallying around him and Leadership has nothing to do with color. It has everything to do with character. You follow Hurts because of his character. You don't follow him because of the other bullshit that the media's making up. When you start making race or media hype in the leadership, it's so far removed from it. People follow Jalen Hurts because he's genuine. People follow Jalen Hurts because of his journey. That's why they follow him. That's leadership. I mean, get this. This is a great take. And I'm going to use that here in a minute on another topic. Seals, it took 7 Super Bowl wins for people to say Brady was a good quarterback. How about this? Weapon, do you think this is true about Tom Brady? It took 7 Super Bowl wins to say that they finally, and people finally would say, he was better than Peyton Manning. I never thought that the media or the people ever gave Brady his just dues until there was nowhere else to go. That's what Hurts is doing. Look what he did to me. February 9th. I told you on February 10th, I can never take him and put him out of my top 5 quarterbacks in the league ever again. Seals, do you think he's the best? No, I do not. I think he's one of the best, if not the best team quarterback in the league. I like that take from yesterday. No, he's not one of the top quarterbacks in the game. But he's surely one of the top, if not the top, team quarterback in the league. What would you rather have? In a team sport, the best team quarterback or the best and most talented player at the position? Give me the best team quarterback, and that's how you win Super Bowls. Brady's the best team quarterback of all time. He's not the most gifted. Elway, Marino, Rodgers, all better. Best team quarterback in history is Tom Brady. And Hurts is building that type of resume too. Like Troy Aikman. Nobody would ever put Troy Aikman in a conversation where he was one of the most gifted players in the history of the sport at that respective position. When you talk about a team quarterback, guy's got 3 rings. Carson Wentz sucked. Trey Lance sucked. Everyone that comes from the West, Idaho Tech sucks. He had a 13-game hot streak. That's not true. Your all-time single-season passing record is held by Carson Wentz. Your all-time touchdown records for a single season is Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz won you home field advantage by going 13-2 or 12-2, I think it was. During the year that you clinched home field advantage, the Philadelphia Eagles have never won a Super Bowl without having home field advantage for the NFC title game. You have never won it without it. And he was instrumental in securing it. So you could say all you want, and you can downplay his career. Without Carson Wentz, you don't win a Super Bowl that year in 2017. You don't. You don't. Carson Wentz's time in Philly was a success because it resulted in a Super Bowl. It may not have ended well, but when do they ever? Did Donovan McNabb's time in Philly end well? Did it? Did Donovan McNabb's time in Philly end well? Carson Wentz's didn't finish well, right? I mean, did Randall Cunningham's time in Philly finish well? Don't sit there and tell me about Carson Wentz not having a good ending to his career. You don't have a quarterback that you have ever had in the history of your franchise not have a shitty ending in a divorce. It's not uncommon. Don't make it seem that way because you're trying to elevate Hurts. And what Jalen is, hey, that'll end well. That won't end well either. How many divorces have you ever seen end well? Joe Montana's with the 49ers. He won 4 Super Bowls, didn't end well. Oh, but it will in Philly. Yeah, okay. Because it always hasn't. The changing of the facts and the narratives. Leave it up to Eagle fans or some of you. You guys think that this thing with Jalen's going to end well, like it never has with anyone else. Yeah, okay. Hey, Tom Brady didn't have a good ending in New England, but Jalen will. Oh, man. All right. This is going to be an interesting one here. Let me take this Ojomo. Moro Ojomo is not replacing Milton Williams. I give a shit what you think. I bet you this. Milton Williams or Moro Ojomo won't be starting that Thursday in September in the opener. Remember I said that. Put that in your book. Okay? Moro Ojomo will not be starting at left defensive end for the Philadelphia Eagles come the first week of September. When you're opening up and dropping the banner, he will not be your starter. He'll be your swing pass rusher. How you doing? Oh no, but he's right there. Yeah, okay. All right. Tell me this. Wait a minute. Where are we in this thing here? Oh, we got plenty of time. Hit the like button, guys. So it's May 1st. No Nick Sirianni contract. Why is it so hard for Eagle fans to embrace Nick? What do you think? Why do you think it's so hard for people to embrace Nick Sirianni? Because they're idiots. He doesn't fit the mold. I love Nick. I love the goofball. A lot of people didn't watch Jordan, but now they know him. Hey, Cowboy fans, y'all know Michael Jordan, right? Yeah, it's a good one. He's a yes man. Okay. Howie does all the work. Okay. Now you do. No, I don't. He did inherit a gifted team and then rebuilt it into a dynasty. He did? No, he didn't. He had nothing to do with building that team. The architect would never be confused for being Nick Sirianni. The architect of that team? I don't think so. He is not the architect of that team. Yeah. What do you think on draft day? He's fucking picking those players? What are you, stupid? Wait, when people are asking somebody to come on a show like Rich Eisen, they're not looking at the head coach. They're looking at the architect to come on and what did you see when you were looking to build and add players to the roster? They weren't talking about little Nicky Sirianni. They put Howie in there, or they put Howie Roseman's ass in there. Why is it hard for Eagle fans to embrace your head coach? Here, let me add another dynamic to this. So more people, let me rank them. Let's see here. Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, Jeff Stoutland, Clint Hurt, Bobby King. And we'll use last year. I know Kellen's down now in New Orleans. Kellen Moore. Howie. Something to do with building the team. I want you to do me a favor. Let's rank how Eagle fans see. Let's rank. Okay? Let's rank how Eagle fans see the importance of the coaches that are on the team that are instrumental in making it so that you guys will go out and win yourself or give yourself a shot to win yourself a Super Bowl. Who would be the most important coach out of Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, Jeff Stoutland, Clint Hurt, Bobby King, the linebacker coach, who transformed Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond, Oren Burks into the best linebacking core in the league last year? Kellen Moore, who had a Super Bowl offensive coordinating year in Philadelphia. Only him and Frank Reich have ever done that. And Howie Roseman, the architect. Give me the number one most important coach in your offense, right? Or in your offices right now. Who is he? Who is he? I got to go Stoutland. Consummate for the last 10 years, building some of the greatest offensive linemen in the history of coaching. So already out of the top, the most important coach to Philadelphia Eagle fans is Jeff Stoutland. And not the $25 million a year guy that you want to pay him or John McMullen wants to pay him. So your O-line coach is already the most important guy in the building. All right. By the way, do you think Spagnuolo is more important than Andy Reid in Kansas City? All right. Who's two? Who will be the second most important coach if you're going to repeat this year, in your opinion? Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, Jeff. We got Stoutland off already. Clint Hurt, Bobby King, Kellen Moore, Howie Roseman. We'll do last year. Who was the most important coaches when it came to you winning the Super Bowl a year ago? Nick, Fangio, Kellen Moore, Howie Roseman, Bobby King, Clint Hurt. Put the GM in here too. Who was the second most important person in the building to your Super Bowl win a year ago? Howie, Kellen, Vic, Clint Hurt, Bobby King. Vic? All right. Who was the third most important person in the building in you winning that Super Bowl on February 9th? Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, Kellen Moore, Bobby King, or Clint Hurt? Spag was hired in 19. Reid hasn't won a Super Bowl without him. Well, Bill Parcells never won a Super Bowl without Belichick either. Let's see. Howie. Right? Howie. Howie, right? Howie. So, why is it so hard for Eagle fans to embrace your head coach, Nick Sirianni? Right now, according to Eagle fans, the most important people in the building that led to the result of winning a Super Bowl so far are Jeff Stoutland, Vic Fangio, Howie Roseman, number 3. Who's number 4? Let's take Howie Roseman now. So now we're left with Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore, Bobby King, or Clint Hurt. Who was instrumental in your Super Bowl win February 9th? Nick? Kellen Moore, Clint Hurt, or Bobby King? Kellen. Okay. Kellen Moore. Okay. 5. So now we have, for the 5th guy, Nick Sirianni, Clint Hurt, or Bobby King. And by the way, he didn't make any of these hires. The organization hired him. Nick. I say Nick goes here. Boy, Bobby King, pretty close between Nick and Bobby King. Bobby King made that linebacking core, and they're all pro. Let me ask you this. If Zach Bond's not on your defense, you win the Super Bowl? Do you win the Super Bowl if Zach Bond's not on your team? Do you win the Super Bowl? What do you think? No? I got to put the head coach there. So I'd probably go Nick Sirianni. Then I'd go 6. I'd go Bobby King. And then Clint. So there's your 7. We all ranked them here. The most important people that were in your building a year ago that were instrumental in you winning your 2nd Super Bowl. Jeff Stoutland, Vic Fangio, Howie Roseman, Kellen Moore, Nick Sirianni 5th, Bobby King 6th, Clint Hurt 7th. How the fuck can you respect somebody as your head coach when you don't even look at him as the best person in the building? That's why you have a tough time looking at Nick Sirianni when you respect your assistant coaches and the GM more. That's why you don't look at him in the same light as other places. Howie Roseman overshadows Nick. Big time. So does Stoutland and Vic. They overshadow that guy. Let me ask you this. And get this. And JD3 wants to pay the 5th most important person in the locker room, or in the building, I should say, the number 1 salary in North American sports, $25 million. He's not even the best coach in the building. That's why you don't respect him. Get this. Well, what happened in 23 then? He was so wonderful. Hey, I got to say this too. I think that 23 meltdown, I think that's a tougher pill for people to swallow than the fact that they won the Super Bowl on February 9th, and that's why they look down on him. It's because that still will be a lasting taste in people's mouth on how he let that whole thing implode. Eagle fans never got over it. That's why you respect the other coaches in the building more than him. You guys just said it. Right? I mean, do you think there's a more respected guy in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization than Mike Tomlin? When Steeler fans are talking about who's instrumental in winning in Pittsburgh, what do you think? They think Carl Dunbar, the D-line coach, or Alfredo Roberts, the tight end coach? When people look at, that's why when people go, you compare those CEOs, well, wait a minute here. In Baltimore, you think Todd Monken's more respected than John Harbaugh? Todd Monken wasn't in the building. when John won the Super Bowl. There. You think there's anybody in Kansas City that has more respect than Andy Reid? How can you sit here and tell me that Nick Sirianni, who's the 5th most respected dude in his own building, and how about this? When I use the word respect, importance. 23 made us elite? Yeah, because they went out and hired a defensive coordinator they wanted in 22. And they went out and they hired a coordinator. Because they didn't have, get this. Hey, Xander, put that Arthur thing up. Well, if Nick was such a great offensive coordinator, why'd they go out of the building to find one? Here, before I bring Xander up here, do you think that there's a portion of the fan base that has a tough time embracing this guy? You embrace Jeff Stoutland and Vic Fangio more, do you not? An offensive line coach. Hey, I fucking can't lose him. But Nicky? Oh, Nicky. Hey, and here's the other thing. The owner has shown you he's moved off of dudes. He ain't, get this, who's the only guy he's not moving off of? He ain't moving off of Stout. Hey, isn't it funny? Jeff Stoutland was there for Chip, Doug, and Nick. Huh. Gee. Doug won a Super Bowl. Nick won a Super Bowl. And what's the one dynamic in the building? Jeff Stoutland's in the building. How you doing? Here, man. I mean, hey, nothing like this. Let me pay $25 million to a guy and make him the highest paid coach in any of the 4 majors in North American history. And he's not even the top guy in his own building. This is what we do here. I don't know, man. That 50-year option, we're going to start it off here with Big Z here. Hang on. That's not a good enough intro. No. The man who never lies to Big Sills. I'll tell you something. You want to know what he got? Hey, never. Hey, Mike Miss, all you assholes. Never do you miss with Big Sills and Big Z. Let's bring him on. I'll tell you what, this guy's like Jekyll. I'm going to start calling Xander Jekyll and Hyde. He's got to sit around and go, John, what do you think? Then he comes to me and go, fuck you, Sileo. Let's bring him on here. Big Z, Xander Krause, how you doing?
What's the matter? You want me to treat you like a buttercup?
No. Yeah, that's what I want. How you doing?
So I didn't hear your whole open, but what are you talking shit on Nick?
I'm not talking shit on Nick. I'm just asking how come it's tough to embrace the guy when one of the most important things in the building is that every single Philadelphia Eagle coach respects Stoutland and Vic Fangio more than they do Nick.
Well, you think they got the same job as Nick?
I asked you, this is why. Okay, here.
Wait. Nick is the head of the snake. Jeff Stoutland's focused on the owner of the team.
Who could you live without, Nick or Jeff?
It's different. Jeff Stoutland's an offensive line coach.
But the people
here's a better question.
The people in Philly respect him more.
Would Jeff Stoutland be able to do what Nick does?
No. What does Nick do?
What are you talking about? He's the head coach of the football team.
What does he do?
He doesn't dumb himself down to an offensive coordinator, so you think he does nothing? That's a dumb thing.
What happened in 23 with this great leadership?
Well, what happened in 24 and 22?
He had good coordinators. They all went on to be head coaches.
We're shooting 66% of the field with the team being completely bought in.
All those guys went on that you had as coordinators went to be head coaches. That's why you had good assistants that Howie hired.
So now you just want us to win with shitty coaches around us? You need good coaches. You need good players. You need a good organization. So that's the same argument as people saying Jalen Hurts has good talent around him. Well, where's Josh Allen's ring?
The most expendable.
Where's Joe Burrow's ring? You need good talent.
Xander's trying to convince you that he thinks that Nick is more important in that organization than these other guys. And
that's
point
not
was,
what I said.
Okay, well, I'll make the point again.
He's got unique
is that more people in Philadelphia respect Jeff Stoutland and Vic Fangio and were responsible for the winning of that Super Bowl than Nick? Yes or no?
Push.
Ah!
Push.
I do have something to point out to you, though.
Players are bought in. Wait a second.
Players are bought in.
Players are bought in.
They're bought into their checks.
The culture in the locker room is phenomenal. All right.
This is phenomenal.
This has been the best 4 years of Eagles football, maybe in the history of Eagles football. All right. That's not all because of the talent on the football field.
So aggressive. You're suggesting to me the Eagles, wait.
He's aggressive, and it's given the Eagles an advantage in all 4 of the last seasons.
Wait, do you think the Eagles would be where they were in the last 4 years with or without Nick? Or do you think it's all you think Nick? How much do you think?
I don't think he's the only reason, but I don't think you can get rid of him and just say you're going to have the same results.
Well, wait a minute here. You won a Super Bowl and you've always won without this guy.
What do you mean we won without him? We got 2 Super Bowls. He's been one of them. He's the only coach who's taken us to 2 Super Bowls.
I'm trying to figure out, okay, well then why do people in Philly respect Vic and Jeff more?
I don't know if that's true, but it's because it's because it's a different thing. Remember, Nick Sirianni at times has to fall on the sword. So the general public is going to see more. Nick has a more all-encompassing job. To sit here and say you can compare a position coach or really even a coordinator to what Nick does, I don't think is a fair comp.
I think, quite frankly, that guy, he sits there and is the messenger of what the GM and the owner want conveyed to his team. Players don't play for a guy giving Newt Rockne speeches. They pay because they get – you think people get paid for getting patted on the head? Hey, you know what? Follow the guy into the Army and follow him into the war. Hey, what am I getting paid? You're getting paid $25 million? I'm going to run through a wall for you getting $25 million a year, Junior.
So just admit that all you want Nick to do is call plays. If you want, that's what you want. You want a head coach who calls plays.
That would mean they're 14-12, and I can't have that because when he started calling plays, they were 2-5, and then when he was there with Brian, they were he was actually 13-11. So
all right, so let's look at this, and let me guess, you're going to say this is all the position coaches too. The head of the snake has nothing to do with it, right? How's been the development of the young players Eagles have brought into the organization in the last 4 years?
Position coaches.
That's it. The head of the snake deserves no credit for that.
What is the difference between a year ago and this year where you saw Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond and that linebacking core develop? Was it Bobby King or what? What was the difference from 23 to 24? Bobby King's only been an Eagle. This is going on to his second year.
You're still need good position coaches. Absolutely.
No, you asked me why though. What happened? I said those players were developed. Clint Hurtt, did he not elevate the D line? Yes. Did Bobby King elevate the linebackers? Yeah. And who hired them guys?
Wait a second. So the head of the snake deserves zero credit.
What?
The head of the snake deserves zero credit.
No, I think he deserves something. I think he's in there. I go, look, you can't. But to sit there and look at, hey, dude, your linebackers and your D line got paid because of Clint Hurtt, not the greatness of Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, you know who else has become a sensation, a face of the NFL under Nick Sirianni? You know, when he was hired, Carson Wentz was still supposed to be our quarterback.
Right. So it's funny, every time I go in the NFL shop, they got Shedeur Sanders up there right in front of the NFL MVP in the Super Bowls, pimping his jersey over the greatness of Jalen Hurts.
Wait, where's Josh Allen's jersey up there?
Hey, I'm talking
it's about on the top page.
I'm talking about a 5th round guy.
Hurts is in the top page. Guy hasn't been on the football field in 3 months.
Oh, yeah. Well, because you know why? Josh Allen's counting is $60 million. That's what he's doing.
Oh, and Jalen's counting is 52, and he's looking at the bling on his finger, saying,
"Where's that new deal?
MVP, Super Bowl. Come on, man. Come on, Sells."
He's getting ready to go to the View. That's what he's doing. Hey, let me put this on here. If you go back to that 2022 draft, I looked it up. Do you know how many players had their do you know how many players got a contract extension as of right now?
In the 22 draft, that was the Jordan Davis draft when we
Yeah,
traded
they
for
just
AJ
picked his
Brown.
5th year up, right?
That was a crazy draft for us. We drafted Jordan at 13, then we traded for AJ like a couple
Yeah,
minutes
I'm
later.
gonna point something out. There's only one player that got a contract extension. You know who that was?
Who?
I think that was Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, and he's already underpaid.
I'm going to look at it here, and I think at that 22, because I looked at it on CBS, and CBS put it up there. And in 2022, dude, check it out. If you here it is right here on 50-year options. Look at this. So you go here, the number 1 overall pick, Trayvon Walker, picked up the 5th year. Hutchinson, they picked up the 5th year. Derek Stingley, it's Stingley, not Surtain. 3-year contract extension at 21. If you go
Surtain
down,
was earlier. Surtain, I think, was the Devontae Smith draft, 2020.
No, this is 22, 5th year.
Yeah, no. I think Surtain, though, was drafted in 21. It's Stingley from the 22 class who got the contract. He got it this summer. That's why Surtain got paid last year.
Okay, 5th year tracking for the full list of decisions about – no, this is 2022 first-round draft picks.
I'm pretty sure.
Hey, go down. I'm looking at the page right now.
No, I know what you're saying. The only thing I was saying was Surtain was a different year.
Well, they got him. Oh, Surtain was a different year. Yeah,
I'm talking 21. Yeah.
Stingley. Yeah, Stingley got a 3-year contract.
Was the guy. Yeah, Stingley was the guy.
Get this. He's the only guy in this whole class. They either declined or they picked up the 5th year.
Yeah.
And here's why they didn't pick up, because I heard you and John. So I went back and looked at that. Check this out. You know why they didn't pick Linderbaum's contract up?
Yeah, because it's like $24 million.
$24 million.
Yeah.
They wanted more time to negotiate.
But well, I also, it is because they make the whole option thing based on the whole offensive line, and centers don't make that much. So, and because he made so many Pro Bowls or whatever, I think every time you get an accomplishment, it adds a little bit to the option.
It does. It's tiers.
Yeah, his was way juiced up, and it's above what, like, he's going to get more than Creed Humphrey, who I think is like
right. Well, it goes like this. It goes All Pro, Pro Bowl, and it goes starter. And Jordan Davis is on the starter role. That's why it was 12-9. When you get Pro Bowl and All Pro, you're up in that higher deal when it comes to picking up the 5th year. Like when it comes to picking up that 5th year option, like look at Hayden Hutchinson. Hutchinson's at almost $20 million. That's okay. Both these guys, Jordan Davis and him, were defensive linemen. They were drafted in that draft. One guy had a 5th year option in 1987. And Jordan's just got picked up at 12.93. My point is that that's not that,
Yeah, that wasn't that good of a draft class.
No, but and get this. The Eagles are doing kind of what everyone else is doing in that draft. There's only one guy that really stood out, and that's Derek Stingley.
Yeah, and I think
so. My point is maybe they're really hoping Jordan Davis really does pick up these next 2 years where I think they're going to let him play these 2 years. I think he's going to go and play into his final year next year in 26. When he goes into 26, Xander, he's not going to have an extension. They're going to see he's going to put him into Javon Hargrave. And if he comes out of it, he's going to get his money.
Who?
That's how Jordan Davis. That's how I would do it. If Jordan Davis puts
they're going to make the decision after this season, not after 26.
Yeah, but if he has a good season and that defense is still, and he's rolling around 25% of the plays, and I was the one months and months ago, hey, the less that guy plays, the better that you're showing up when it comes to your run defense. Still, there's a value. And I wrote that down even. What is the value for a player that plays 25 plays a game for you and is not a third down guy? What is that value worth to you? And I think that's the dilemma that the Eagles have. And you know why I think it's a dilemma? I think it's a dilemma because they like the ball player. Okay? They like him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the question is how much? We'll
I'm
see
not
what
going
happens.
north of 14.5.
Well, I think the Eagles would go above that.
Why?
Because that's just what the cap is going to dictate. I mean, that's going to be another $50 million up. They're going to give him a percentage of the cap. You know, you look at the nose tackles. One guy's making 18 or 19. I'm not saying he's worth that, but I'm just saying 14.5. Well, it sounds great. In 2 years, that's not reasonable money for Jordan Davis. It's gonna fall somewhere.
He's not a market value player.
I would say somewhere between 15 and 18 million for him.
Bro,
maybe 16 million is where it's going to be.
no
It's
way.
not going to be 14.5. He's not
No
going to accept 14.5. He'll get more than that on the open market.
I was a market player, a first and second down guy. He's not a market player.
He's going to get more than that.
You're talking about the market going up because the cap's going up. Well, guess what? If his ability and his production doesn't go up, he's not involved in the next guy up. He's not next guy up. Look at him even in the tiers he is now in the option. Right now in the option, he's in the third tier. So when you're talking
between 15 and 18.
Okay, well, right now, he's where he is production-wise on the tiers with his fifth-year option because he's not a market. He's not an $18, $19 million guy. Like a guy that makes a Pro Bowler or whatever. Jordan Davis is never going to make a Pro Bowl playing first and second down. He's not.
No, he's not. He's not.
Now, maybe that, to your point, maybe that does give them latitude to hey, listen, if I was Jordan Davis, ask yourself this as a player. Put yourself in player's shoes here. So you say 16. Okay. Eagles come to you and go like this. We'll give you a 3-year contract. And we're going to pay you. Let's use the number I had, 14.5. And you give them more money on a sign-in bonus or guarantees. You give them more on that. And you go like this. Jordan, I'll tell you what we'll do here. If you outplay the contract, the Eagles are not bullshit artists with how they pay guys.
No.
I believe
one of the best things they have going for them.
I don't believe any organization on the planet. I believe that because I see it.
Well, there is some instances too where you don't get paid here. I mean, look at Gardner Johnson, Goddard. I mean, there's some. I'm not saying it's a lot, but there's some.
But I'll tell you what, man. I like the fact that you had 2 years remaining on A.J. Brown's deal, and they went out there and they gave him a contract extension. They redid, but they gave an extra year to Barkley. They gave him more money too. Yeah. I mean, dude, if you're a star and you're an important cog, and plus Vic in the ear, let me tell you something. If Vic Fangio feels that there was too much of a slicing of players last year, you think he's going to let Jordan Davis walk out the building, another guy to fuck his defense up? If he thinks that guy's instrumental in the run defense.
That's what I'm saying. Jordan ain't going anywhere.
Their ass and go, you can't keep losing players and expecting me to make chicken shit in the chicken soup here.
Well, that's why I think Jordan Davis isn't going anywhere. I mean, how are you going to keep gutting this thing over and over and over again? Now, the question is going to be, how far do they go? Because I think the biggest thing in Sileo's aisle is not really anything about the player, in my opinion. It's more about the structure of the contracts and the salary cap. Because right now the Eagles are very offensive based. They pay for offense. They have no problem. They pay their offensive line. They pay their skill position guys. They pay their running back. They pay their quarterback. They pay their tight end. They pay everybody. Right now, if you go across the defense, Reed Blankenship's on a cheap deal. Quinyon and Cooper are rookies. Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter are rookies. Jomo's a seventh-round draft pick. You got Jalix Hunt, all these guys. The only dude that's paid on defense right now is Zach Bond. That's it.
And Huff.
So how much does it change? It's going to change to some extent because they're not going to let Carter walk. They're not going to let Quinyon or Cooper walk, in my opinion. I don't know, but we'll see how it develops over the next 3 years. Maybe only one of those guys stays, in the future. I'm not sure. I think both would stay. But how far do you go? Because then you're going to have to take the philosophy that they deployed right now on defense, which is, again, how many years in a row have we seen now all defense in the first 3 rounds of the draft? I mean, this year we went 5 straight defensive draft picks to start the draft. We didn't take an offensive player till an offensive lineman in the 5th round. So how much does it change? Are they willing to create more moving parts on the offense? The organization obviously values offense. I always bring up what Hugh Douglas says all the time. He always says offense is a priority. Defense is a luxury. That's been their approach. And the biggest pushback is, well, damn, it's worked. because
Yeah.
you could have blew up on this team after letting some of those dudes walk from the 22 defense, right? You could have said, why would you let them walk? You were the second defense in the NFL. You had 70 sacks, and you're letting Hargrave walk. You're letting some of these guys walk. But look at what it's turned into. It got better. So how much does it change is the thing that I'm looking at. And if it changes a lot, maybe that is a good sign for Jordan Davis. If they want to continue that trend of paying offense over defense, it probably doesn't look too good for Jordan Davis.
I am going to show you something that Howie Roseman took out of the Belichick tree of staying relevant and staying competitive in Super Bowl conversations. The New England Patriots for 20 years, when contracts came up for Darrelle Revis, moved off him. When a contract came up for the Defensive Player of the Year, Stephon Gilmore, moved off him. When they came up to a Hall of Fame defensive lineman, Richard Seymour, moved off him. When they came up with a Hall of Fame player, Randy Moss, his contract came up, moved off him. For you to be competitive in today's NFL because of the salary cap, it's not about just managing it. It's about allocating it. It's about doing all the things that it takes to keep you relevant. Right now, Howie Roseman, because he's making all those tough cuts on the defensive side,
right,
he's keeping you in the game for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
They don't want to get rid of Milton. They don't want to get rid of Josh. They don't want to get rid of any of these guys, but they have to. Because you know why?
Milton going to have very good
You'll
years.
be the Cowboy. It's irrelevant on what he's going to do in New England. He was important in Philly and what he did. By the way, I thought it was a great take by John Moro Jomo. Moro Jomo is a good football player. He's a good third down pass rusher. And I started watching some tape on him. He's not very good against the run. That's not his forte. But 68% of the time, NFL are in nickel. And you're in pass rush, basically 70%.
Yeah.
7 out of every 10 plays, you're in third down.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. And that's where I wonder, what does the organization – we talked about this a little bit, but, what does the organization want? Is the organization look at Jordan Davis right now and they say, we got a great run stopper and that's all we want him to be. How much do we want to pay for that? Or do they look at it and say, we want to pay Jordan Davis because we value what he is right now to the team, but we also want him to become a 3-10 or something, you know what I mean? Play more 3. I don't know if they even want that. I think that's where the conversation for how much you pay him is hard to put a number on right now, even for us outside the room, because shit, what does they want? What is Vic saying? Vic might be in Howie's ear saying, dude, I don't need him to play passing downs. And then Howie's probably like, all right, well, I can't give him much more than $15 million.
I'm going to tell you.
Which is still pretty heavy.
I'm going to tell you what Clint Hurtt said about what you're talking about. Let me do it right. All right. Do you expect Jalen Carter to get better?
I do.
Okay. Do you expect him to be potentially the best interior defensive tackle next to the guy up in New York?
Yeah.
You expect him to be like that, Dexter Lawrence?
I expect him to be that and Chris Jones, a combination of the two. He's not Dexter Lawrence. He's not a nose. But I know what you're saying. Yes, that good of a player.
That type of impact.
That impactful, yes.
How much does that bleed over into making Jordan Davis a better player? And how much does he comp him on helping him elevate Jalen Carter's game too? Okay? Again, this is a defensive line. It's not one guy. If another guy do you think that Zach Bond signs that contract if Carter's not in front of him? No way.
No.
If you were, how about this, Xander?
Remember, Bryce Huffle-Schnufflegus is coming off the books this year. So, I know it doesn't work like this, but you wasted $18 million on him. Transfer that money to Jordan Davis. And then you can keep building.
How Clint looks at it is, how important is Jordan in there being a big body when it comes to Jalen Carter's development? You want to put a lesser guy in there where there's going to be even more significant double teams on him?
I think that's actually maybe one of the bigger knocks on Jordan right now is that, bro, you got Jalen Carter who played 99% of the snaps last year and was getting double teamed way more than anybody else. You should be winning. You're big enough, strong enough, fast enough, and good enough to win.
But look at that with the glass half full and go the other side of that. So who are you putting in there if you're going to have that already, that dynamic where you got a bunch of people on his ass already? Who are you going to put in there? Thomas Booker? I mean, bro,
You don't
you
like
got to
Book?
look at,
You
hey,
don't
look,
like T-Book?
hey, no, I do. But hey, watch this, man. Hey, I think that chick's good looking, but I'll tell you what, it ain't like my old lady. I'm going to kind of hang with the old lady there because I've been with her for 40 years. So I'm going to hang in there, man. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to look at it as a tandem.
I agree.
And they're a tandem in there right now.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a value too, Xander. Dude, you see, you can't just take guys out. You can't here's something that you keep bringing up, and John, and you're not wrong. What's your plan at tight end? You don't have right now. The Eagles are on a no plan, and the only plan you hear people saying is this: well, looks like you're gonna bring them back. Well, I don't believe that come June 1. I think that guy's either going to be traded, cut, or he's staying, and they got to force to pay in the final year, and he's going to walk in. God forbid that guy plays 17.
Signing trade. They're going to do it. They're going to trade.
They're going to trade him. I agree.
They're going to trade him, and then they're going to, if they do trade him, I think they still could. I still think there's a possibility they bring him back. But if they do move on from him, I could see how. Remember, we have 12 picks next year. We have 3 third-rounders right now, multiple fourths, multiple fifths, I think multiple sixths, and obviously a 1 and a 2. I think you take one of those thirds, maybe one of those fourths, sign, you pick up Michael Mayer, a guy like that. I don't think you can, because look, they didn't draft somebody this year. So the Eagles aren't going to make a move to move on from Dallas Goedert and then have 0 tight ends under contract through next year.
No,
it's not. It doesn't work. They don't do that. They don't do business like that. So, if they do move on from Goedert, I think they would only do so knowing that they're going to acquire another guy. In a way that I don't think is a 1-year rental like Harrison Bryant and Kylan Granson and even Grant Calcaterra. Now, I'm not a big Grant Calcaterra guy. I know people like him. I'm like not into that dude. Like, I don't like him.
He serves a role. He serves a role. He
can catch the ball. He's a dude. Plus, how many times have you heard Sileo say he's a dude?
Yeah, but I think he's here because Xander. I think he's here because Jalen likes him, and he had him at Oklahoma.
Does Jalen like him?
Well, I think so. I mean, what else would he be here?
Yeah, maybe.
I can find 50 guys like him.
Jalen doesn't seem to like to throw the ball to many people outside of AJ and Devontae, if we're being honest. Even Goddard only had 500 yards.
He don't like
Goddard's a damn good tight end.
That guy needs a step stool or a Tokyo phone book to stand on because he can't.
Well, hey, listen, we joke about that. I think that's a real thing.
I do. Hey, I do.
I'm not even criticizing Jalen.
Drew Brees and Russell Wilson said it was a thing because they weren't the tallest, and that's why they. That's funny, man. They should make Jalen drop back 9 yards like those other guys did because they felt dropping back more. Yeah, made them be able to see over the field, but he doesn't have the same pocket presence as those guys.
Right, that's not his game. Exactly. Jalen's not a pocket guy. Yeah. He doesn't, even still to this day, at times, Jalen looks a little uncomfortable in the pocket because he's been so good at escaping the pocket and making plays and being a playmaker. So at the same time, you'd like to see him be a little better at that, but you don't want to take away what he does really well, which is playmaking outside the pocket. So, I think it's a real thing, though. I mean, Sills, the other part of it is.
It is.
For an average offensive line, it's a thing. Now look at the Eagles' offensive line. 6'8", 6'8", 6'9", 7'4". These dudes are huge, man. Even the dudes they're bringing in now, the new guys they drafted, 6'7", 6'8", and undrafted free agents, 6'8". I'm like, poor Jalen Hurts. Guy's 6 foot.
Hey, they may have a starting 5 bigger than the Sixers. I mean, right? I mean, those guys are tall, dude. I mean, imagine this. The Eagles have a starting 5 taller than the Sixers. I mean, outside of Embiid. All right, let me go here now. What's your favorite draft pick?
Good question. I think it's Ty Robinson.
Okay.
I think this kid's going to be really good. I think he just had, and again, I'm going to keep shouting my boy out, Abe, because he told me about this dude a long time ago, and I totally see what the heck Abe saw in this guy, because you turn on the tape, it's not like he's jumps off the page in terms of athleticism or elite traits or any of those things. I know why he wasn't the first-round draft pick, but sometimes having a will and a want to in life takes you a long way. And when you watch that guy play, he plays so hungry, so aggressive. I think he could be a really, really good player. And the other thing is, I think it's going to help him that he obviously, just like you just said, Jalen Carter helping out, Jordan Davis. Well, Ty Robinson's going to have that benefit too. All right. Get up there. You're going to be one-on-one. Right now, you're a vicious dude. You make people match your physicality. Don't lose that and prey on some of the offensive lines in the league that, let's be real, aren't all that great. Not many teams have a great offensive line. Now, there are some good ones. You're going to play NFL dudes, but
75%
take
of the
advantage of
league.
that.
75% of the league has okay O-linemen. There's like 5 teams that have great. There's one team that has exceptional, and the Eagles.
Now they're big. It's still a big upgrade or a big increase in competition compared to college, obviously. But I think Ty Robinson is going to be a beast. The one thing I'm curious on him is like how I know we've talked about how versatile he is. He plays every position on the D line. They even lined him up on the edge sometimes at Nebraska, which is crazy. But I don't think they're going to do that here. But does he have nose versatility? Like, what can he do on that defensive line? To make you be able to move on from somebody else? Is it simply the Milton Williams replacement? Does it make Jordan Davis more expendable? Like those are some of the things I'm looking to watch on him. And then number 2, from a draft pick perspective, I'm going to go Campbell. I know it's the top pick, but I just think you give a Swiss Army knife like that. Again, I do have questions on this guy. I probably have more questions on him than most of the people listening because I don't like hearing 2 knees. I don't like hearing 2 shoulders. And the other thing I don't like hearing is you're starting him as an off-ball linebacker, but he's not a Mike. So if he's not going to take Nakobe Dean's spot and he's starting at an off-ball linebacker, that means you're looking to take Zach Vaughn's spot. That's not happening. So right now, as it stands for him, from the way we're hearing it, obviously Vic could throw a wrench into it the way he handles it, but the only way on the field is in sub packages. As a joker, and some of those things I don't like to hear, but I think the versatility of the player is something that Vic Fangio, if it does work out, can really turn into a special thing on this defense. So I'm excited about that aspect of it, but that honestly has a lot to do with Vic Fangio. But the player I do think is special athletically. You don't see many 6'3" guys who move like that, and have that ability to probably become an edge potentially in the league, similar to how Micah Parsons did.
Well, read your supers here in a minute. Please hit the like button.
Oh, so let me send the link to 500. You're good. Keep going. My bad.
Let me ask you something here. If you had the means to do this, if you had the means to invest $100,000 and there was an 85% chance that you could make $1 million off that, would you do that?
Say that one more time.
Okay. If you had the means and you put up $100,000, knowing that there's an 85% chance that you could make $1 million off that, would you do it?
Yeah.
Well, then that's what Jahad Campbell is. That's what Jahad Campbell is.
Right. That's actually a good way to put it.
Dude, if that guy happens to hit, he's the 10th pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's when somebody goes,
guy's going to be on stilts.
Yeah, well, look, you're starting it out with this. Well, the shoulders and the knees. Okay, well, I didn't hear anything about ability. So as long as we're talking about,
it's definitely not an ability thing.
Okay, well then guess what? I start with ability. Because let's be candid here. You drafted Nolan Smith with an injury. You drafted Nakobe Dean with an injury. The Eagles aren't afraid of that. They'll take the risk on that. Get this. At the end of the day, when Nakobe Dean is no longer on this team, I will say this to you about the pick. He was right in it. He just couldn't stay on the field. He was a good player. But the gamble didn't pay off because guess what? His body didn't hold up, and that's what failed him. It wasn't the pick failed. It wasn't his ability that failed. It was just the ability to stay healthy. Dude, I'll take that gamble every day.
Yeah, I agree.
But when you start with this, he can't backpedal. He's not good.
Yeah, right.
Then we're in a different world there where that's a gamble of a pick that's not a high percentage of success. Like this kid that you guys are talking about. It's funny when I hear this. 5'11", 194. How do you say this kid's name from Texas? I'm hacking it all up to pieces. What's his name?
Makuba. Andrew Makuba.
Makuba. All right. Dude, the reason you get drafted in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th, and 7th round are because I said to you the other day is measurables. So when you're playing the way you play in the NFL today, height and weight's not the issue. Production is. Attitude is. This guy's got the same kind of attitude. that Gardner Johnson has, except for this. He's not fucking mouthy. And that's what they took. Hey, I didn't like the ACC either back in the day. I'm playing Wake Forest, and I'm playing Duke, and I'm going like this. Hey, I'm not trying to win a debate here. I'm trying to win a football game.
Right.
So I go to Miami. I'm playing Florida, Florida State, Oklahoma. I'm playing big Auburn teams. Dude, I want a challenge. I don't want to be in there playing against librarians. I didn't like the ACC either. And he goes, I don't want to go there. So he goes to Texas. That's a good thing. I like that attitude, man. I think this kid's going to start that safety position.
Yeah, I mean, you heard Rick Saratello talk about that this morning, how he left because he wanted to be pushed harder. That's obviously a good mindset. I mean, look, the questions on that player aren't really football related too. I mean, they're more about the size, and listen.
I'm not. That doesn't worry me.
Yeah, but still, I mean, 5'10" and 180 or whatever the heck it is, 5'10", 190, 5. I know everybody's like, oh, he's 205. No, he's not. All right, no, he's not. I mean, look at the videos of him at the press conference. You lay the wood on the wrong dude, I don't know what's going to happen to that body. So okay. I'm hoping he pans out. I'm pretty high. The people have won me over a little bit on him from a player perspective, but let's see what he can do in terms of getting his body ready to handle the NFL.
Okay. Well, folks, I'm going to show you something here. So, Xander, if your boy Ty Robinson was 6 feet 270, would you have taken him?
No.
Well, that's Aaron Donald.
Yeah, but come on, bro. That's not a good excuse. Aaron Donald is a one-of. Aaron Donald is not the norm.
How'd you know that on draft? Well, you're talking now after the fact. I'm talking
No. 6 foot 270 guys as defensive tackles fail far more in the NFL than they become Aaron Donald.
You're going with the Ram Aaron Donald. I'm talking about the Pitt Aaron Donald. Would you have drafted a guy at a Pitt 6 foot in the first round?
But you can't say that without the benefit of knowing what Aaron Donald turned into.
You got the hindsight now of knowing what he is.
Yeah, you do, not me.
No, I didn't, because I would take the better player. That's what I'm saying about the measurable. You get caught up in the weeds of the measurable.
I got you. I know what you're saying. You're saying the premise is take the best football players. You're going to miss some draft picks anyway. Just take the best football pick. I agree with that. I do agree with that. But I don't like the idea of saying if a guy was 6 foot 270, you wouldn't take him because look at what Aaron Donald became. Aaron Donald is legitimately a one-of-one player.
Okay.
He is a Hall of Fame football player.
Nobody knew that out of Pitt. Everyone's got the hindsight now after the fact, but when you're drafting, you don't have hindsight.
That can't be your premise for drafting.
No shit. That's my point. My point can't be immeasurable. My point has to be production. Like, get this. Watch this. Howie would do this. I'm going to draft a guy 6'5", 345 pounds at D tackle, and his name's Jordan Davis out of Georgia. Aaron Donald is 6 foot 270. Who do you think Howie's drafting? Coming out of college. He ain't drafting Aaron Donald. He's drafting Jordan Davis. If you get stuck on the measurables of the player.
I know what you're saying. You're saying draft good football players. Stop worrying about the bullshit.
That's right. That's right. Don't get caught up in that. Get caught up in, is he productive and is he good? That's how I look at guys. Dude, again, take it from a guy taken in a third round. Bro, this much difference.
You were a second-round draft pick.
Well, yeah, now, second round, 56 a second. Look, the difference between that kid going in the 15th pick, how do you say his name?
Makuba.
All right.
What are you, brain dead over there? Makuba. Say it. Come on, say it with me, Sills. Makuba.
Well, you know why I don't remember very many names. You got to be a somebody to have.
Come on, Sills. Makuba.
For me to remember, so somebody always goes like this. Hey, you know who he is? I'm like, who? And so the difference between me and a guy going in the first, dude, it's that much. It's 1 inch. If that kid, Makuba, there you go. If he had this much of an in height, he'd have been a 10th player, 15th player taken.
It's true.
But here you guys, he's 5'11", 190. And like, who cares, man? Can he play? That's what Vic looks at it. Can he play?
Dude's my size, dude. I'd be looking down on him in a ring. I don't like that. All right, these are football dudes.
I don't like. Oh,
wait, look at B. Flem. He says Makuba's issue is he looks like Stevie and he needs to look like Sills.
Lay off my dog.
Sileo says, take Stevie.
Hey,
Take Stevie because Aaron
leave my
Donald
dog
happened.
alone, man. My dog's a good little doggy, man. Leave my fucking dog alone.
Oh, man. That's a good one, B-Friend. That's a good one.
All right. Here you go. Couple more here before. Don't forget, Philly 500's at the bottom of the hour.
Yeah.
All right. Let me go here. I'm going to throw this. I was going to save it, but I'm going to do it with you here. Has the rest of the NFC caught up with the Eagles?
I think the best case is clear the Commanders. I mean, I know I've been saying that I don't think the Commanders are going to be as good this year. I think they're going to take a small step back, but logically speaking, objectively speaking, they are the team, right? They won 12 games last year. They made it to the NFC title game. Instead of losing players, they've added players. They've added 2 tackles, okay, who I think instantly make your football team better. Obviously, you need great offensive line play. You add Deebo Samuel. Again, I'm not a fan of him, but he's better than what they had last year. De'Ami Brown and Alama.
He's a 2. He's the 2, not
right. So you
have
still McLaurin. Right. I mean, I'm not a fan of what they did in the defensive line. I'll say that. I hate that, actually. Got rid of Jonathan Allen to sign Javon Kinlaw. I thought that was a bad move. But overall, they've added players. They added Trey Amos in the draft. I think the Commanders have gotten closer by default on paper because look at what the Eagles happened. You have the number 1 defense in football, and you lose seven dudes or whatever it was, however many dudes left, between Burks and Graham and, Milton and all those guys. Okay. We lost players. They added players. They were in the NFC title game. We were too. They got a little bit closer to us, I would say, but Cowboys, I don't know. I mean, right now I might have to come off my take early, which is crazy to do. I don't think I can do it. You guys would hold me to that. I don't know if I could do it. But I don't know how the Cowboys are going to beat out the Commanders this year. I don't see it. But I know I made that prediction earlier. Cowboys, I think, got better. They had a good draft. They did. The Giants are, depending on what Jackson Dart is. I don't know. I was watching a little Jackson Dart tape. I'll tell you, he's not I think a lot of Eagle fans have kind of written him off as like this stiff. Again, I don't think he's insane, but he's got the chance to be a solid player in the league for sure.
He's better than Shador for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And look at the competition. Look at the competition he played.
Well,
I think there's 3 teams.
Yeah, Dart's okay. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm curious to see what happens in Cleveland in that quarterback room.
I got three teams in the NFC. I got the newly to be crowned NFC East Washington Commanders.
Stop.
This year.
This is my show now. Cilio's gone. See. Bye, bitch. Bye.
Hey, you paid for it.
Oh, I can't do those now.
Hey, Washington, the soon-to-be new NFC East champs. I do have the Rams, bro. I mean, I got the Rams there.
Yeah,
and
I think the
Detroit.
Rams gonna be good. Yeah, that's what I got too.
Those 3 teams, right? And then how about we do this? An outlier, Chicago, Dallas. I know you like Minnesota, bro. I'm not on JJ.
I don't like them. I don't like their roster is good.
It's great.
It's very good. The quarterback situation, don't know. But they are a good roster. I'm with you, though. That's exactly my top teams in the NFC. I just have it ranked a little different. Eagles, obviously, top dog, coming off the Super Bowl. Still got a lot of those guys coming back. 10 out of 11 offensive starters returning, assuming Goddard comes back, and we're in good shape. Then I got the Rams. Then I have the Lions. Then I have Commanders.
I would say Washington. The concerns would be this. Run-stopping defense, which, dude, you automatically make me have to question where you are in the room if you can't stop the run. Hey, dude, I'd rather have a team throw 500 yards on me, and I still can beat you. But if you run the ball for 200 yards on me, I can't beat you. I mean, and the Eagles can do both. Bro, you got to be – if for Washington is going to be back in the NFC title game, Washington has got to be – hey, if you look at the numbers, folks, I think you'd be shocked. Washington was either 3rd or 4th in rushing.
Yeah. Let me ask you something about the Lions. Now, they've been a very impressive team the last couple of years.
Yeah,
they
those
got those
coordinator exits bug me.
Let me get there. You got a really good team. They got tons of skill position players, 2 great running backs, 2 great wide receivers, really 3 great wide receivers with Tim Patrick. A great offensive line, arguably in the Eagles' range. I don't think it's better, but I think it's in that range, in the top 5 range. All right. Aiden Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph. They got dudes everywhere on that football team. What do you think's going to happen with Jared Goff this year without Ben Johnson? All right, because listen, Jared Goff is a good quarterback. He's an accurate quarterback, but Jared Goff, it's still Jared Goff. And I still worry that guy turns into a pumpkin at any given moment. And Ben Johnson was one of the most creative, best offensive coordinators in football in the last 3 years. Now he's gone. What happens with that guy? Remember what happened to our offense when our offensive coordinator left the first year? And I think Jalen's better than Goff.
Yeah. Look, Jared Goff has shown to me, again, that, he's been probably the most disrespected quarterback in the NFC, because outside of Jalen Hurts and Matt Stafford, there's not another quarterback in the NFC that's more celebrated when it comes to their resumes than him. He's a 4,000-yard passer. He's been to 2 NFC championship games. He's been one with the Lions. He carried the Lions further than anything Matthew Stafford ever did in Detroit. Detroit, he had Megatron. I mean, there's no Megatron right now in Detroit. I'm not saying Brown is a good player. That's not Megatron. So, I mean, Goff, when I look at Jared Goff, is there a ceiling? You know what I see with him? I see a guy that's kind of like a better version of Kirk Cousins, because he wins. Okay, that's how I see him.
I like that. A better version of Kirk, I think, is a good thing. I see a lot of Darnold, and that's where I struggle. Okay, that's where I struggle.
This guy's won way more and done more.
Yeah, he's better than Darnold. I know he is. He's better than Darnold.
So
somebody says, why did I say they have 3 great receivers? Well, they do have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Tim Patrick, who I like. Tim Patrick. Maybe he's not great in your eyes, but he's still good. And they did sign that. They did draft that kid, the Tesla kid, too. Who's not bad. So,
and they got a good tight end.
Yeah, they got a good tight end. What's that dude's name? Laporta. Laporta.
From Iowa.
Laporta. Yeah, good player.
So Johnny Morton is a new offensive coordinator. He was 2 years up in
who?
Denver. Johnny Morton.
Who?
He was the guy that was an offensive coordinator in Denver for Bo Nix. Who
accomplished offensive coordinator.
He was the offensive coordinator in Denver. Johnny Morton was the offensive coordinator for Bo Nix.
And then how did he become the offensive coordinator in Detroit?
Because they named the assistant head coach. Was it just a lateral move?
That's a little trick that teams use.
It is a trick.
Assistant head coach. Bet you ain't the assistant head coach.
He's not. 29.
It is Bork. Señorita.
Shut up. 29 touchdowns. 3rd most completions in the league at 376 for a rookie quarterback in NFL history. It's his 23rd year in the league. I know, John. Includes he was offensive coordinator for the Saints with Drew Brees. That's where the relationship with Sean Payton was. He was also in San Francisco. He's the wide receiver coach back in the day when the receivers were there. He's a former player himself. He's been in the league about 25 years. So he's an experienced guy. He's a respected guy. Still, is he a creative guy? That'll be the big issue is he going to be as creative. Now,
I feel like he's gotten enough good tape from the last 2 years. Like, bro, just do similar things. You got to get the ball out of Jared Goff's hands quickly.
Yeah, but again, for me, you can have the same playbook. But when, Xander, reading the Bible and reading a playbook are a lot like. You can interpret it any way you want.
Yeah, right.
That's exactly what a playbook is. So an offensive coordinator could see something in a particular situation on 3rd and 6, and he sees something completely different than what Kellen Moore saw. That's really knowing your personnel, too, and getting a chance to understand your personnel. That's where I think the relationship is going to be an issue up in Detroit. How long do you have to get to know these players? I'll tell you one thing Kellen Moore did right away. Man, I'll tell you, what do you think was the most significant thing last year that was the result of winning that Super Bowl? Man, that bye was in the right time. Man, that bye, everyone was saying it should have been later. No way. They addressed the problem. They reinvented themselves coming out of that bye, and they never looked back. Dude, they absolutely did a self-awareness and a
I'm surprised you didn't take a chance there on a big Sills. There was a big opening for you there.
But I can't because they lost one ball game after.
Well, I thought you were going to say they took the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands.
Well, they did.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Well, but hey, Sills, what happened? Well, they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, they had
They lost
Saquon
one
Barkley.
ball game.
Yeah, agreed.
They lost one ball game with Hurts. Did Hurts lose any games as a player?
Last year?
He lost
After the bye? After the bye, no. Okay. The only game they lost after the bye was when he got hurt in the first quarter.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, they reassessed it. That bye, dude, that bye was in the right spot at the right time. They were 2-2, and it turned absolutely, man. It turned it all around because you know why? They made sure that they did the most important thing. They put it into the MVP's hand. They made sure they put it into Saquon Barkley's hand. That's what they did.
Well, we got Saquon Barkley, man. I mean, shit. What do you want? Did you want to sign Saquon Barkley and use him like he was Miles Sanders?
No, about time somebody used him, right? Because the Giants didn't.
Well, the Giants don't have the personnel or the team to do it.
Well, that's a failure on construction of a team. That's on them.
No doubt.
Hey, watch this after the fact. Like John says, after the fact. Well, he wasn't the right. Well, fuck. Okay. Well, who does the GM?
Did the Commanders get a running back this year or no? This offseason? Because I thought they could have used one. I like B. Rob.
They need to improve their run game.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go for one.
Yeah, but they're third because of the quarterback, and that's going to be the downfall. Yeah. You can't have him run the – because I'll tell you, like I said, every time I play Washington, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit the shit out of that guy. Robinson's not going to be enough.
Did they take a running back? They didn't. Oh, they took one in the round 7.
Oh, shit.
That's not gonna do shit.
He's a baggage handler working over at Reagan.
They took the receiver in the 4th. They took Jalen Lane.
Well, the running back they took in the 7th, he'll be working at Reagan International by the end of the year.
Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
Yeah, sure, that'll work. Didn't they sign anybody?
I don't think so.
They need a running back in that building, man.
Well, they got Brian Robinson. They got who else do they have? Let me look. What do they got at running back?
The running attack.
Brian Robinson.
Oh, I like him. Austin Eckler's a good ball player, man.
Yeah, he is, but he's getting older. I mean, you know.
Yep.
Brian Robinson's a good player.
He is.
Is he a
Bama kid? Really is that Robinson kid a Bama kid?
Yeah. I love his story, man. He was, I believe, actually, I might be conflating him with JAKIB. If I'm not mistaken, he was like a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. He waited his turn at Bama and then played his senior year, and then he's had a good career there. So no, I thought they were going to go for a big running back this year, but they weren't really in position to do it, so they didn't. But we'll see what happens.
I always got pissed off at that star shit. I was a 3, and I'm like, I'm a 5. Guy goes, no, you're not a 5 because you're not 6'5". And I said, I don't give a fuck. That's why I'm against measurables, dude. And I one of the reasons, man, I came out of high school. He goes, you're a 3-star because I made the Adidas All-American team, and I got a chance of playing that Big 33 game. You know that goes on in PA.
Yeah.
And so I'm like this. I go, no, I'm a 5. The guy goes, no, you're a 3. And I go, I'm not a fucking 3. 3? I'll tell you what, Junior. You wait and you see me when I'm waving at you when I go by with my national title ring on. I was so. That pissed me off like nobody's business, man. And I remember telling Jerry Fouts at the end when we kicked his ass 57-7. I looked at him and I go, 3-star. What happened? 3-star. Hey, by the way, have a nice retirement. I made up with the guy after.
It all makes sense now. Makes sense.
Totally. Notre Dame thought I was a fucking 3-star. Pissed the shit out of me, man. Oh, my God. Hey, to this day, yeah.
Yeah, well, to your credit, they're not always right, and that's
no, they're not. And hey, 3. Oh man, I used to Jerome was a 5, of course. Jerome used to always go like this. Hey, 3 man. I'd be like, fuck you, man. I hate
Yeah, so are you upset that you didn't think of the nickname Vanilla Gorilla when you played?
Nah. What did they call? Oh, they called me House. My nickname was House. I was built like a house.
Who else had a nickname like that? No, who's the running back who was the Fridge? Who was the Fridge? the running back, and the Pittsburgh guy. What's that guy's name?
Oh, Jerome Bettis, the boss.
Yeah, Jerome Bettis. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of when you said House. That's what I was thinking of.
They called me House.
Is pretty good.
Yeah, Jerome would call me House. Come here, House.
So that's cool and all. That ain't no vanilla gorilla.
No. This guy here. I don't know if I could get away with vanilla gorilla, me being who I am. Anyway.
Is that what it was? Was it the bus?
Yeah, Jerome Bettis was the bus.
Who was I thought there was a fridge.
Yeah, William Perry, which was defensive tackle, and they ran him as a
yeah, that's what it was.
They ran him as a running back in Chicago.
All right, I mixed them up. Thank you, Charlie Swift.
Yeah. Let's get to these supers. We got 500 coming around the corner.
All right, here we go. Let's do it.
3-star bullshit.
Top 5 says it's going to be a good season, boys. Vanilla Gorilla.
Yeah, we'll see what that defense
Top 5, lock in, brother. Jalen's about to win an MVP.
John McMullen says you're going to finish 28th.
John McMullen also said Saquon Barkley was going to have a big impact on the team. That take might be worse than anything I've heard from you in the last couple of years. Prince Swayze says his name is Andrew Makuba, but Sills mistakenly read it as Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. Prince, you got to be kidding me, man.
That's a superstar.
Yo, Prince, that's foul, bro.
Hey, Prince, that's a superstar right there. That's
Hakuna Matata. Andrew Makuba. Hakuna Matata. That's great. Makuba's issue is he looks like Stevie, and he needs to look like a
Leave my Stevie alone, you son of a bees.
Stevie's what, 18 pounds tops?
I don't know, man. He eats a lot of prosciutto. So all I know is Stevie's a big prosciutto. Stevie's a big prosciutto eater.
Nothing better. Rescue a dog and treat it, and he basically takes it over to the house. Nothing.
Let me tell you this, man. I'll tell you, he can sit in a chair like I can, wide angle.
There you go. JD3 says you get 25 mil when you have a ring and a better win percentage than Lombardi. Elite.
Yeah. I tell you what. Hey, Nick, go take the trash out. I got to talk to Stoutland and Vic. Go take the trash out.
Still in Xander. I remember another player a long time ago who had knee issues coming out of college. That player was Thurman Thomas. Good pull.
It's why he went in the second round, Kyle.
Yeah.
Right, at Oklahoma State.
Good pull, Kokorski.
Yep.
Pump checking in.
Here's Pump.
I would like Ty Robinson, but Buddy is pre-med. Sounds like he has one foot out the door after getting hired. I want guys who eat, sleep, drink football.
Wait a minute.
He's pre-med.
He's pre-med. Oh, my God. How could you be the McGilla Gorilla? And how could you be that? And you're a pre-med guy. How could your nickname be McGilla Gorilla and you're a pre-med guy wanting to
Vanilla
be
Gorilla.
I
ordered you a shirt.
Hey, how can you be a football player and you're a pre-med guy? Because you got to worry about your noggin. When you play football, you ain't worried about shit.
Yeah, I hear you.
Come on, man.
Yeah, but you only play football till you're 30-something years old. I don't got a problem with doing, making something happen.
Yeah, that's what I want. A guy. How long did you play football? 12 years. What are you now? I'm a brain surgeon. Yeah, I don't know.
He's not going to be a brain surgeon.
I don't know.
Good night, dude.
Oh,
Kimbo
man.
checking in. Need to hold on to Goddard for blocking in the run game.
Bro, I don't know, man.
I think Goddard might be back.
See, man, look at you keep wishing that to happen and wishing that to be true.
Well, I just think they would have done something a little bit differently if the plan was to get rid of them.
I agree. And an in draft.
I mean, every other position. I mean, there's how many? There's 22 starting positions on the team.
Here,
every other position they've gotten a contingency in place. They don't have one for Goddard.
Yeah, ask yourself this: does that sound like something that Howie would do? Is not be ready on something? You know what I'm saying? That just doesn't make sense. I mean, this guy's got an answer for everything. By the way, that interview with Rich Eisen and him. Hey, I thought he was being interrogated, and he wanted to give up his social security number, and that he was he was in a concentration camp. Howie Roseman did an interview.
Oh yeah, him and Rich are boys.
Hey, but when I listened to the interview, I thought he was being he was at the Hanoi Hilton, and his plane went down over Vietnam, and they were asking him questions.
Well, I
He's
mean,
like,
Rich was asking him to tell him, where are you going to take Shador? It's like, what's he going to tell you? Yes? No, that's stupid.
yeah, it was everything, though. Yeah, we said, what about the player? He's got like bad, and he's
Dude,
got
that's
some
Bob
question
Lang.
mark.
Why do you think Bob Lang hates this show, dude? He is so worried and focused on narratives and what people say, even from inside, outside, everything. That's the organization. I mean, that's fine. They're protecting their $1 billion entity. But yeah, Howie doesn't say shit.
Nothing.
Bob Brown checking in. What up, Bob? Thank you for the super, brother. Stills, it's not the money with Davis. It's the cap allocation for a non-premium position. Signing bonus plus guaranteed versus bonus money plus void years to keep cap number lower. So, Bob, let me ask you, Bob, is stopping the run not premium, Bob? It's a premium position.
It is. But the question will come down is, hey, Vic, can you get that with another player at a cheaper price? Can you do that? Because, again, he's a one-dimensional – he's not a Swiss Army knife like everyone else on that line.
This is for Brian Pumper. You got to go Apuna Ford. He's not a big fan. Let's go, Emre. Sills, the Eagles are redefining the game. Got to hit in preseason. Dual threats don't win Super Bowls. Head coaches need to do this. Rookies perform. Future is now. Oh, man. You old geezer.
That's right, Emre. You're going to pay a guy $25 million a year, and he's the fifth most important guy in the building. How you doing?
This is where Bob might be right. Bob says, hey, Xander, stopping the run is premium, but nose tackle is not. It's fair, but the nose tackle stops the run. So how do you conflate the two? Got to find the happy medium, I guess. Devin says, Nick's greatest ability, coffee runs for Howie. Oh, Devin, you sound like Abe.
Hey, Devin, and picking Saturday night's movie for the team.
You sound like Abe. Every good pick Abe has, he's also got one on the other side of the spectrum. That's the worst pick you'll ever hear. He thinks Nick Sirianni doesn't do shit. Devin sounds like Abe right here.
He parks cars, NovaCare.
Abe, I love you, brother. All right, man. I'll see you guys. Good segment, Sills. I appreciate you, brother.
You got it, man. Thank you very much, Xander. Big Z, make sure you check him out with John McMullen on Birds 365. So we're going to do this. Hold on here now. We're going to do this same test here for my boy, Philly 500 here. Hang on here. Let me get – oh, here we go. Okay. Without further ado, he's redefined it now, by the way. His name is Champion 500. It's not just – it's not Philly 500. It's 500. The champ. The champ is back. Without further ado, the man who's got one of the best channels covering the Philadelphia Eagles, our friend, Philly 500, the champ, joins us now. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, but it's last name Champ, first name Golden. Golden era, baby. That's what I'm talking about,
bro. All right.
We kicking ass, Sills. We kicking ass.
Are you kicking ass? So what are you kicking ass
love it.
on? What are you kicking ass?
You see Mark Holmes lately? I rest my case.
Yeah. No, I sent him text messages, man. He don't even respond anymore. And I say, hey, that's what happens when you're third in the NFC East.
That's right.
You don't really get an opportunity to respond to anything anymore.
That's right. Now he's praying. Now he's praying for Amari Cooper. Give me Amari Cooper. Yeah.
Amari Cooper. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to ask you a question out of the gate here.
Okay.
Why is it so hard for Philadelphia Eagle fans to embrace Nick Sirianni? And I'm going to do this to you here. I'm going to go down the list here. These are the coaches and people who I think in the building were instrumental outside of players that won your 2024 championship, okay? Stoutland, Vic Fangio, Howie Roseman, Kellen Moore, Nick Sirianni. I got Bobby King. I mean, look at what Bobby King did. He reinvented Zach Bond and he saved Nakobe Dean. And look at what he did with Oren Burks, how important that whole crew was. And I got Clint Hurt sitting there at 7. In your opinion, Philly 500's opinion, Who do you believe that Philadelphia Eagle fans and people believe is the most instrumental person in why they won and had a championship season last year?
Not including players, right?
Not including players. Nope,
Well,
7.
maybe they're mad at Nick for ordering Pizza Hut when he's in Philly and there's all these other pizza places you could get. Maybe that's what they don't like.
What I would say to you is if you're the head coach of Philadelphia and you're ordering from Pizza Hut and not ordering from one of the homegrown places, you automatically don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. That might have been a problem, but that was a few years ago. But in all seriousness, I would say Howie Roseman would have to be the first. I mean, I think that the all-season moves that he made leading up to that were spectacular. I mean, they almost all hit. And then I think it's fair to say Vic Fangio, because of what he did defense. But after that, I'm going to put Nick. I'm going to put Nick because
over Jeff Stoutland.
Yeah, I am, and here's why. Because they had a historical collapse the year before, a collapse where I don't think most coaches ever come back from. Yet he was able to hold it together. He was able to have those players still believe in him, still back him up, and I think he was a big part of holding that, especially when they started 2-2 together. And I think he deserves probably more credit than he gets.
Okay. Number 4, you'd probably then go Stoutland over Bobby King, Clint Hurt.
Yeah, we go Stoutland.
Kellen Moore. Fair. So you think Nick had more to do with the team's winning than Kellen Moore?
I think Nick had more to do with keeping the team together that allowed everybody else to flourish around it. Because I don't think that most coaches that collapsed the way they did the year before would have, first of all, been back. Second of all, kept those guys playing for him. And I think he did that. And I think Nick's ability to kind of take a backseat, listen, and adjust, I think is very underrated about him.
Who would you put 4 there? Would you put Kellen Moore or would you put Stoutland?
So I'd probably put Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore. Let's just go 5 here. So 5, you'd probably put Stoutland with that great 2005 rushing attack, the developing of the O-line. Or would you put Bobby King or Clint Hurt there?
No, I'd probably put Stoutland.
Okay.
And then one guy I think that I'd also put up there is Christian Parker.
Okay, secondary coach.
I mean, look at that secondary, how well they played. They were fantastic.
Well, here are my 5. I got Stoutland 1. I got Vic 2. I got Howie 3. I got Kellen Moore 4. And I got Nick 5. Don't you think that's one of the reasons? And even on your list, you had 2 guys ahead of the head coach. Don't you think that's one of the issues that kind of overshadows the head coach, that people in Philadelphia and Eagle fans? I mean, bro, Kansas City, nobody fucking respects anybody more than, if you're not talking players, than Andy Reid. Same thing with Tomlin in Pittsburgh. Same thing with Harbaugh in Baltimore. I mean, same thing with Sean McVay in Los Angeles.
But think about all those guys.
When you're not the most respected guy by your own fan base, I mean, doesn't that oversee it?
But think about it. Every guy you just mentioned, Andy Reid, Tomlin, right? All these guys have been there, 10 years at one place? How long has Andy Reid been in the league?
Yeah, but those guys make their own hires.
But I also think that the length amount of time that they've been coaches and been successful, they've gained the respect of everybody else. So nobody questions them. I think Nick, being fairly a younger coach, coming off a season in which they totally collapsed. I mean, I can't talk about that more. I thought they were going to make it 30.
I think that has a lot to do with even him winning, still with a bad taste in people's mouths with the 23. I think, listen, him winning it, I still think there's a bad taste on how 23 ended because of that. And I'm going to point something else out to you. You make a great point here. Okay, well, will Nick ever get his justice as long as Howie Roseman's in the building? Because the more they win, the more he gets credit for it. Wouldn't you not agree? The guy who gets credit the most for the wins and the guy who actually takes the most for the losses It's Nick. Nick takes all the heat for the losses. The guy who gets all the credit for the wins is the GM.
Right.
I mean, look at the latitude. Look at the latitude he's getting now with his football team. I make this point to people. The Eagles, did they get worse? Did they stay the same? Or did they get better? And yet to be determined. I mean, Mario Jomo is not a run stopper. Put his film on. He's not a run stopper. He's not the versatility of Milton. And that, one of the things that helped that defense out, that I think you're going to have a tough time replacing some of these guys. And it's not going to be a quick fix like that.
We'll see.
Well, wait a minute. It took those other guys 3-4 years to build up their equity to be able to play. You're asking guys who've never been in the building.
If you want to say Milton Williams, okay, that's fair enough. Milton Williams, but
Sweat was
Josh Sweat was a good player.
He was there 6 years though.
But how many double-digit sacks did he give us?
You think
they almost got rid of him the year before that because
Philly,
they said he wasn't playing run.
Okay, but Philly, okay. So a guy who's been there 6 and the other guy 4, you think a guy's going to come in for 4 months and replace him?
No, I don't think necessarily 4 months. I think it's an ongoing thing. But it's the same thing, when you apply that to the players, you could also apply that to Nick Sirianni. You can't act like he did nothing. He was no part of this. I mean, he was a big part of this. And he's not going to get the respect of an Andy Reid or Tomlin. He hasn't been there long enough. But give him time. I think I disagree. I think
you think he gets back, more. You think he'll get more respect than Howie Roseman? Eventually.
I'm not necessarily saying more than Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman is a unique figure within sports, let alone for the Eagles. How many GMs in sports gets the amount of attention that Howie Roseman does? I think Howie is a very unique character. But as far as Nick, I think that if they continue to win and they continue to go out, I think that Nick will get the respect that he deserves. I do. I think that comes with success, and I think that comes with longevity of being the coach.
Where is there another place in the NFL where the GM gets more respect than the head coach if they win? Except
I don't know, but
how
many GMs across the league do the things Howie does and have the ability and the flexibility to even do it? I mean, nobody could pull off on other teams half the stuff Howie has done. The owner deserves a lot of credit because the owner gives him the flexibility to make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, and he takes chances. And I think that pays off dividends. I think Howie is just a unique person to compare.
What's your favorite pick?
Oh, geez. I love them all. I would say the safety, Mukumba, is probably my favorite. He was my third best safety on my board, and I think they got a guy that could start this year. So I was very happy about that.
I think he's going to start, and I'll tell you this. I was having the discussion with Xander. See, I'm a guy that never gets caught up in the variables of what a guy's height and weight is. And everyone keeps going 5'11", 194. So let me ask you this. And I don't know if you heard, and I hope you didn't. So would you draft a defensive tackle? What if that kid Ty Robinson was 6 feet, 270 pounds, and he played DT? Would you draft him?
If I'm being honest, probably not. Probably not.
Well, then you just passed on Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I know. And that's how
crazy. My point about 5'11", 194, okay? You got to overlook that stuff and look at playmaker, the way he plays, the word that Howie used on the Rich Eisen show, explosive.
Mm-hmm.
See, people get too caught up in height and weight and 40 times. You got to get caught up on production. And if you're not faking in the first round, production has to be a catalyst if you go from 2 down to 7. My opinion. You agree?
I do. I agree. And I definitely think that I'm guilty of getting caught up in it. I do. I get caught up in he runs as fast as. I mean, it's natural, but you're right. There's so much more than just that. I agree completely.
All right, here, man. Now I'm going to give you a tough one here.
Okay.
Man, did you see the leader of that team on Monday, man, at the White House?
Oh, here we go.
Man, I
Here we
fucking
go.
love watching the fucking leadership of Saquon Barkley. Man, did you see that? By the way, your Super Bowl MVP was, I think what I heard, he was getting ready to do a shot with Oprah. So I don't know. Either that he
Was
was
it
getting
Oprah?
ready, or either that he was
Okay.
getting ready to go Hillary Hunt, or Hillary Hurts, I should say. I don't know what we're doing here, bud. What'd you make it at, man? Give me the Philly 500.
You really, oh boy, I don't know if you want to hear what I have to say about this.
Well, I'll tell you what, we do, because you know why? Yesterday, Marcus Hayes went in on Trump. So I want to hear.
Okay, well, my personal opinion is that I would love to see all those guys there. I don't look at the whole thing as a political thing. I look at it as a traditional thing. So when I saw Barkley there, I had no problem with it. I was glad about it. But I thought the Eagles did the right thing in making it optional. And I think that Jalen Hurts not going, to me, is fine. I have no problem with him not going because it was optional. It's too divisive. It's too political right now that I don't see how you cannot make it optional. And what bothers me, to be honest, more than anything, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm probably getting in trouble for this, but you see cancel culture going in on Saquon Barkley. They're going in on him, going in on him. Okay. Then as soon as Jalen Hurts says he doesn't go, people start going in on him. And I think it's a bad thing to start acting like those who are in cancel culture. If those people want to go in on Saquon Barkley, we should not be going in on Jalen Hurts because he made his choice. And the one thing we're not supposed to be doing is being like cancel culture. And I saw a lot of people wanting to cancel Jalen Hurts because he didn't go. I would have loved to see him go, but I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be like the people going in on people because they choose a certain thing. If it's optional and it's his choice, then I respect it. And I respect both sides of it. That's how I see it.
I love your take. And I'll tell you why I love your take. Because I went to the White House, and it was the last couple months of President Reagan. Okay? And back then, no one gave a shit about who was in the White House. You didn't care. You just have your team show up. You're stealing towels, stealing forks and shit out of the White House. You're having a meal. Nobody cared, But because today, it's too political not to make it optional. Is that your take?
Yeah.
Great. I think you're right. I think you have to make it optional.
But when it's optional, then we need to respect when a person doesn't do something we agree with. Like I said, if it was me, I don't care. I would go, and I would have loved to see Jalen and everybody else go. But if we're going to call it optional, then we have to stick with that. All right, Jalen didn't go. I would have liked him to see him go. I don't agree with it, whatever, but I respect his opinion. I don't want to be like the people saying, cancel this guy, cancel that guy, because he didn't agree with my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I do. But I would have one pushback with you here.
Okay.
2018, man, Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith didn't have the Sacagawea or the cannolis to fight Nick Saban on that because they went to the White House when Trump was in the White House then, and they went. Now, all of a sudden, man, time of the year, and, this guy here's got a calendar now. He's got to put everyone on your calendar. Hey, I'll get to you here. I got to go down to, Bora Bora and kind of, save and try to cancel or try to cure cancer here or go to Switzerland and shit. So he's got a big calendar now. He's a big dude. He's a Time Magazine Man of the Year. So I'm like – I'm just saying, now he's a big-time guy. I'm just saying, try to be consistent. That's all.
Yeah, but it's like, when it's that political and you're going to get shit either way, because that's what he is. I mean, none of those guys are in a win-win situation. Somebody's going to be unhappy with them no matter what. And, once you make your decision, I guess you just got to stick with it. I don't know. I don't think I would have loved to see everybody there. That's my take. I don't get it. I love seeing Barkley there. I was glad. But, I mean, I felt bad for some of the things that I see what people are saying about Barkley. after, and I don't want to be that kind of person because somebody does something I don't agree with. I don't want to be them. They're losing the war. They're losing the whole culture war. People don't like cancel culture. Don't start acting like them. That's all I'm saying.
Is this a nothing burger in the locker room, or do you think this was just a news cycle thing?
Yeah, I think it's a
this is not a big deal.
No, because I think the people that went are probably less judgmental. That's the be honest truth. I don't think they're going to judge it. So no, I don't. I think that's why you had to make it optional, though.
I like that.
Make it optional.
I like that. All right, dude. What's the plan at tight end?
Goddard. Dallas Goddard. You got to bring him back.
Really? So wait, I just saw that guy George Kittle signed for $19.2 million.
I know, and that sucks, and that worries me. But I mean, you didn't draft. Who do you have? So I mean, they got a kid coming in for a visit, rookie visit, Malik Carr. He looks pretty. He looks like he's got some talent, but we can't write him in to be the guy. We don't have another guy. They didn't draft the tight end. I don't see what other options they have. I think you got to stick with them. You got to work it out.
Boy, I'll tell you though, man, if you're Goddard, I mean, so you don't think that they're going to move him post June 1? I think they move him post June 1, or you're going to let him roll in and wait a minute. Now, to your point, so you're going to let him just play out like Javon Hargrave did. You're going to let him play out his final year because he's under contract. You owe him no money but the $14 million or whatever it is, and you're just going to roll into that season with him, right?
I don't see what choice you have. You can trade him or cut him, and then you have a giant hole there, and you have nobody else to replace him. If they want to give him some upfront money, more money this year, whatever, fine. But I don't think they got any tight ends. I mean, I think they would have liked to get a tight end, but the way the board fell, I think it worked out that way. I don't see them having an option but to keep them.
All right, man. Hey, by the way, a lot of people are suggesting that the Washington Commanders are now going to be the team to win the National League East.
Yeah.
Or the NFC East. And they're going to be the team. Do you think anybody has closed the gap in the NFC?
I think the gap has been closed somewhat. I think the Rams made some moves to get better. Okay. I think Washington got a little bit better, but I think Washington really missed the boat with some of their moves. Like I don't understand why they got Debo and not DK Metcalf. Like to me, DK Metcalf was the move for them. Debo as a wide receiver, as a pure wide receiver, does not scare me. He needs to be used as a running back. He needs to be used all around, right? He's getting older. He can't stay healthy. They don't scare me. They lost some defensive linemen, right? They lost Fowler and stuff. We might not score 50 points. We may score 40 points on them. That's how I see it. But, they don't – I don't think they did enough. And then you look at, like, Dallas. I think Dallas – everybody's talking about what a great draft they have. I have a completely different view. I think their draft was horrible. Not in terms of maybe 3-4 years down the road, but if you're trying to tell me that a quarterback, 32 years old this year, going into this season, had a chance to get a blue chip player like Tyler Warren that would affect that offense right away, and you didn't do anything to get better right away for this year, you blew it. They blew it.
I look at the Debo move a little different. Debo's not going in to be a star player. He's the number 2 guy. Terry McLaurin's the number 1 guy. So if you got a guy like Cliff Kingsbury that's going to be able to move him around, I agree with you there that he's got to be more of a Swiss Army knife kind of guy in that offense. I mean, but being a number 2 versus being the main guy,
right,
like he was out in San Francisco, that's not the role he's going to be asked to do in Washington.
Yeah, but the problem is he had a problem with doing that role in San Francisco. He didn't want to do it anymore. And then you have the injuries, and I just wonder if his body is not getting beat up because of the way they have used him. So to me, if Washington wanted to make a real impact against the Eagles, DK Metcalf would have been there with McLaurin on the other side. That would have been something significant, in my opinion. And I think they blew it.
I'm going to ask one last one here. I'm going to sneak this in on you. With all the stuff that's gone on here, about the White House, the Super Bowl.
I forgot the whole White House stuff. Like that's already.
That's
like
good.
I think people forgot about it already. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. It's already over with. So that's why optional was the right way to go.
How about this? Would you like? I'd like to see that team on Hard Knocks.
I would too. I mean, I think it would be very entertaining, but doesn't teams like that go on Hard Knocks like usually have a bad year?
Bro, after what I saw Joe Schoen go through last year, I may never want to go on that thing, man. No way would I. That stuff's out there forever. Lying to Barkley like that, dude. Hey,
how he kept his job.
Give us an opportunity. How about this? Give us an opportunity to match. Barkley said he knew when he hung up he was lying.
Yeah, yeah. And he kept his job, though. That's the crazy thing.
No. If you're an Eagle fan, that's the good thing.
It's a great thing. Extend them. Yeah, I actually think the Giants, I thought they had a good draft, but the Giants are, they're several years away. And I don't know what to make of the quarterback. So we'll see. But as far as, see with Dallas, yeah, okay, you drafted a guard. Maybe he'll be good. Maybe, that pass rusher as Raku will be good. But what, in 3 years from now, when your quarterback's 34, 36, what are you going to do to be better this year to catch the Eagles? And they had Tyler Warren sitting there, so I can't get over it. And they passed up on him.
Yeah, absolutely, man. 500, man. Channel's going great. By the way, you got rookie minicamp this weekend starting on Friday and Saturday. You got anything planned on the channel to promote?
I'll be doing videos, depending upon how they do it. If there's going to be open to the public and stuff, and reporters will be down there, I might go live for it. I haven't decided yet. So, but I'll be definitely covering videos with it. So,
all right,
should be interesting.
Absolutely.
All right, my man.
Great stuff.
I got to go polish my ring. Time to go polish my ring.
Make sure you tell Mark Holmes, man. Hey, listen, the invitation's still open, but
he's
wobbling right now, so we're good.
He is. That tells you everything you need to know about what he feels about what the Cowboys are doing.
And I think it's shocking because the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys are the world champions of the offseason. I mean, that's what's the most incredible.
Right.
I mean, there's more world championship trophies in Dallas in the offseason than any team in sports.
Well, he did a video trying to say that the Cowboys are catching the Eagles now off the draft, which he totally didn't believe because if you saw his reaction to the first pick, he didn't like it. Now he's doing videos saying that they need to go out and get like DJ Moore or a wide receiver, maybe Amari Cooper. So he's real and he knows they stink. He knows it.
Yeah, 500. Great stuff. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate it.
You got it. That is Philly 500. Make sure you check his great channel out. Make sure you check his great show out. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button here. I got to tell you a real quick Ronald Reagan story. And we went to the White House in 87. I got to tell you quick. This was in the elevator. And I guess, 500 had a great take. It's a different time. Got to make that trip, I guess, optional now. Okay. And then people can dissect it any way they want. But I gotta give you a story here. So we're getting in the elevator. It was Jimmy, not Vinny. It was Jimmy, myself, Butch, Dave, President Reagan. Who else was in there? Stubbs and Melvin Bratton. We were in there and elevator's going down to the reception area. We're all sitting in there. President Reagan just stops, takes a look at the elevator operator guy. Goes, Willie, how's the wife Scout? And Mr. President, the wife had surgery the other night. And she's doing very well. She's comfortable. Thanks for asking very much. And we're sitting there looking at that. And Ronald Reagan just sitting there going like this. You make sure you need anything from me or you need anything from Nancy. You just make sure you let us know. We'll get it up to you right away. Okay. So the guy looks over. We're all looking at each other and we get off the elevator. And the guy goes to the elevator operator's name. He knows him. That kind of always stuck in me. And when you were like, would you know an elevator operator? I wouldn't know that in my own building. And I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, kind of interesting too. Out of nowhere. Hey, Willie, how's the White Scout? And it was like, yeah, interesting. That was a crazy visit. Hit the like button. Sills, respect Philly's take, but I couldn't disagree more. If Laurie made it mandatory, he would have given every player cover. Had no choice, mandatory team event. I don't know. I'm not making anybody do anything. You make your own choices. I don't want you telling me how to think, and I'm not saying you are, Bob. No one will ever tell me how to think, right or wrong. I may be completely wrong on a take, which I am often, but it's not going to be because I listen to you. Okay? It's not going to be because I listen to you. That's not going to happen. That's not how I work. I hope that's not how a lot of people work. All right. We're going to look at it ourselves. Has the rest of the NFC caught up with the Eagles? Only one player from that 2022 contract extension class was there, Derek Stingley, from that 2022 class. So what does that mean for Jordan Davis? What does that mean for that draft class? I think that says a lot. I didn't like Marcus Hayes' energy yesterday. Yeah, but Leon, follow me here. And Leon, I respect your opinion. Marcus Hayes had the complete different view of what went on Monday than I did. Okay? But I respect it. Every person has a right to have his own opinion. That's what I'm a champion of. If he wants to think that way, more power to him, and I respect him for it. The problem I have with people is that you don't respect people. The people that don't respect other people's opinions have no respect for them and have no respect for people in general. They only respect their way of thinking. I respect people because they have conviction, right or wrong. And when Marcus was talking the way he was, I loved it. Marcus could not stand Trump. He hates him. Well, I respect him. I don't have a problem with him. Why would I? Why? Because he has free thinking? That's what this show is. I put 65% of the people that I put on my program disagree with me. You tune on any other show, 95% of the people they put on agree with the host. What kind of show is that? What kind of dialogue? It's called a debate show for a reason. Okay? And by the way, let me show you this here with M. Reyes. Hayes, W take. Okay? Well, as M. Reyes knows, I put his views on too. Not just mine. Where are you going to find that, Reyes? What show in Philly or anywhere else is going to have a guy come on his show and have a dissenting view to mine? See, I'm not afraid. I even though I think you're a horse's ass. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, brother. That's right, man. By the way, M. Reyes, I'll make one last thing here for you. For me not to put your way or another person's way of thinking on my program, I would be doing a disservice to you and others who come here just to put my views on. And you would never come here anymore. You come here because you know why? Hey, Do I like all of it? No. Do you like all of it? No. All of, that's why our show, and I've always been successful in this. I mean, I can't just put one side and one person's thoughts on. How ignorant is that? Then I'm Fox or I'm CNN. Can't have that. I'll never be that. It's never going to be a one-way show. My way of thinking. Because my way of thinking is not always right. Boy, I never thought I'd have common sense. Don't let Sileo be the voice of reason. Then we're really all fucked up. Yeah. Man, I got to tell you, John Morgan texts me every single day. He's texting me about, hold on here. Here's John. Okay. So John Morgan just sent this to me. Jordan Hudson's outrageous Hard Knocks demands revealed as Bill Belichick's relationship drama intensifies. Okay, so I got to ask you this. I got to ask you this. Oh, John's going to be on with us. Thank you, Arthur. John's going to be on with us every Tuesday. Oh, he'll be back on. So let me read something here. And you tell me if this is odd or this is weird. What's her name again? His little gumad? What's her name? Jordan Hudson. Jordan Hudson. Net wealth. Oh my God. 8 million. Hold on. Let me put this in here. Okay. So this is in the New York Post. Follow along with me. Thank you again. Philly, you were fantastic. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I love to listen and respect all views, even ones you disagree with. Being able to exchange opinions is important. Absolutely, brother. That is fantastic, and I appreciate you more than you know. That is so great of him. He is such a great dude, man. Privilege to have him on. Really is. Yep, absolutely. This guy's legendary. And Xander introduced me, and we've had very few guys on. We had one guy on called Shrimp Biorsky, or what was his name? Briorsky? What was the guy's name? Madam Briorsky. And we had and we have, of course, Mark Holmes on. What was the guy's name? Madam Briorsky? I forget his name. Somebody help me out. Who do we have on? Madam, what was his name? Madam Brunson? What's the guy's name? I forget. I don't know. I'm not very good on names. Bakuba. I've got to work on that one. What was the guy's name? Oh, the Third Father. No, man, I love the Philly Godfather. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the guy. Oh, yeah. Madam Brunt. What is it? Lady Brunson. That's it. We had her on. Yeah, I had Lady Brunson on. Yeah, she was pretty good for a little bit. Then I don't know what happened. I forget. I think she got her panties in a bind or something. I forget. Hey, make sure you tell Lady Brunson Big Sal says hi. So wait a minute here. Hold on. Hold on here. So Jordan Hudson here. This is Bill Belichick's gumad. So let's take a look at this. This is at the New York Post today. 24 years old. She's amassed $8 million in real estate portfolio within the months of meeting Belichick. Bill Belichick's spree girlfriend, what? Jordan Hudson has amassed a New England real estate portfolio worth $8 million, all within months of the Fisherman daughters meeting of the 73-year-old expatriates head coach. Hudson, 24, bought multiple family homes across the Boston area in 23 for about $7.5 million. Okay? And mortgage payments. Wow. Just 2 months earlier, Hudson dropped $610 on a cottage at Cape Cod. Okay? All right. Hey, wow. This is like a real estate mogul. Those hefty purchases came about 18 months after the former cheerleader and beauty pageant began dating this champ. This is getting better. Revelations about Hudson's 7-figure real estate portfolio come after the awkward Belichick relationship with CBS. Friends of Belichick previously told the Post that they were shaking their heads after Hudson cut off the interviewer. Look at these homes. Hudson's properties include a $2.2 million Deutsche that was bought for $1.2 in a mortgage. The home is split into 3 levels. Wow, look at this thing. On the very same day, she signed a mortgage and took over another $1.2 million mortgage on a second Deutsche home for $2.3 million. Look at this, man. A third one. December 15th to 23, just 2 days later, she dropped $3 million. Now, this is fucking getting it done. Property listings described a large multifamily home, one of a kind, with 15 bedrooms across the 3 units. Those apartments are earning $17,000 a month in income. Look at this, man. It's all under the tutelage of LLC. And her Cape Cod bungalow, look at this thing, was bought just 2 months earlier, October 23rd. It's a 2-bedroom located along the shore side of scenic New England. Belichick, still working as a head coach with the Patriots at the time, earned about $25 million a year and has amassed over 20 years, $20 million in net wealth. He's currently making $10 million a year at North Carolina. She shows up now. She's got a brand new $160,000 Porsche. This guy's doing it right, man. Holy shit. He got $8 million in properties, driving around a $160,000 car. Former cheerleader now, man. Hey, I want to know she went to UPenn. How'd you get all that, man? That's wonderful. Good for her. Look at this. You talk about accruing real estate. Man, look at this, man. Tony Robbins must have really went a long way here. Talk about success. Yeah. Like this, if 500 should have his own show. Hey, I like that idea. He's a good dude, man. Good people. Hey, man, he's good. What he's doing. Belichick's girlfriend. Holy cow. $8 million portfolio. Jesus criminy. Yeah. I don't know. What do you make of that whole thing, man? Got an $8 million portfolio. She's sitting on the hog right now. Holy shit. Unbelievable. All right, guys, do me a favor. Check out my great friends at Morgan & Morgan. John's the one that sent me that, too. Jordan Hudson. As of March, Belichick had requested Hudson be CC'd on emails. Get this. With all UNC matters from senior associate athletic director on communications that Hudson be involved in any decisions when it comes to the football program or the athletic department. That I'm not having if I'm UNC. I mean, UNC's a rich school. They don't need that. I don't know. And John Morgan's right. Belichick won't last more than a year. You got a CC as Guman? of what the inner workings are at North Carolina sports. He's making $10 million a year. All right. Hey, anyway, our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, make sure you check them out, folks. Last 30 years, this company has built themselves up to being the number one injury law firm in the country. Look what they're doing for the folks in California, getting all those folks who lost their homes, getting their property value back to them. They are fighting for you. And by the way, you know why they're number one across the country? Because they win. Okay? They win. John's plugged into everybody. It's a family-owned business. I told you about the family in Pennsylvania. $650K they were initially offered by an insurance company on a claim. John went in there and got him $30 million. Another family down in Florida was initially offered $350K. They ended up getting $12 million. Folks, if you're ever injured, do me a favor. Check them out at forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sills, hit the like button, folks. This was really cool. I posted this on my X account. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Todd Bowles, invites you to attend our special OTAs. Tuesday, June 3rd, at the Advent Health Training Center. It's a great center. We'd be with your fellow legends, current players, and staff. Please see the schedule and RSVP by Friday, May 23rd. Legends. big sales. Here's the breakdown. This is at $1 place. 10 to 10:30, legends check in. 10:30 to 12:30, practice. 12:30 to 1:15, cut and color for current and former players sitting around with the Make-A-Wish Foundation folks. Lunch and then dinner and jackets to be handed out for being a Buccaneer alum. How you doing? I never thought I'd have a lot more in common with Tom Brady than me and him being alum. We're together in this. Me and him are alum. Buccaneers alum. How you doing? Yeah, I get to say hi to Hassan Reddick. Maybe I'll take a picture with him. Hey, Hassan, let's take a picture together. Right? Me and Hassan Reddick. And then I'll sit down with Todd Bowles. Okay? And I'll sit down with Todd Bowles and go, how do you kick the shit out of the Eagles every year? What's the secret? So maybe I could be like, what do you call him? Like an double agent. How do you do it, Todd? How do you own the Eagles? What's the number one thing to own the Eagles? Yeah. Just being better? Oh, okay. Oh, man. Says I ain't no hater, but Belichick's chick. So, I don't know. Hey, Leon, let me tell you something. If I'm buying somebody homes and shit, well, we got to up that level a little high, too. I'm with you, man. I don't know. I mean, hey, so he gave her $8 million in real estate. God knows and how much in like annuities and shit. This chick's getting it right. Hey, want a 24-year-old girl? It ain't free. That's right. Here's the greatest line my wife ever cured me of. You ready? You know those requests you get on Facebook where the chick's got a great picture. So my old lady saw it looking over my shoulder. She goes, "You really think that person's that guy and not a fat guy in a Guinea t-shirt with a do you really don't believe that?" And I go, well, yeah, that's right. They sit around liking you. And that's what Belichick's going through right now. Yeah, you really think a 24-year-old chick really likes a 71-year-old? I'm sure there's so much in common. I mean, let me get it. They go on the teacup ride together at Disney. Right? So the both of them go on a teacup ride and they go on they go see the Hall of the Presidents at Disney. So what do you think, honey? You want a cotton candy? I'd be like, what the frick is this? What do you possibly think they have in common? Let me think. But see, we're a family show, so we'll keep it there. Holy Madon. Hey, as my wife, I'm sure she digs the 71-year-old guy. Holy cow. That guy better be like, he better be Tom Cruise. I mean, good looking like that kind of guy. Holy cow. Yeah, hey, that's a great one, Charlie. Bill Belichick just signed a chick for $8 million. That was her signing bonus. Hey, what'd she sign for? 2 homes in Catskills and 1 in Cape Cod. Hey, well, that's a first rounder. I'm with you, Leon. I don't know. Yeah, what's the pillow talk like? Hey, can you get my Geritol? It's over there on the shelf. Hey, by the way, my teeth are in the jar. Holy shit. Hey, dude, 20. I can barely get up and move around, and I got enough problems going to the beach on Saturday. Chasing a 24-year-old around the beach, that ain't happening. Holy cow. Hey, my hamstrings hurt if I walk up a hill carrying a wagon. $8 million signing bonus. Yeah. Oh, man. Hey, yeah, Bill got her a great degree. She didn't have to have one in North Carolina. This is the one that folds up in her wallet. Oh, man. And by the way, I don't begrudge the chick. She's doing it right. Hey, you want me to hang out with you? Divvy it up, baby. Look at 500. Oh, yeah, no, hey, my wife would say, I'm sure she likes the 71-year-old guy. I'm sure she likes making those rounds to going over to the pediatric place. Oh, man. Hey, Bill, is that a hydraulic pump? Fuck, man. Dude, somebody should check him out and make sure he's okay. Okay? Oh, no way. Xander just gave us some great intel. So this chick, before she was with Bill, was with a 64-year-old guy. Oh, my God. Holy shit. Now, wait, do I blame the 64-year-old guy or do I blame the 24-year-old chick who's hunting these guys? No, can't blame the girl. You got to blame the old farts down. Or do you, like my wife did say, leave the guy alone. Leave the guy alone. Now, there's another part of me that says, now, wait a minute here. I had questions about him recruiting. So if you could recruit a 24-year-old chick, you think you can recruit a kid there in Satellite Beach in Florida, come play at North Carolina? I don't know. Holy cow. See, for me, when I was younger, I always liked older chicks. The young thing, I don't know. I never got it. I never will. I don't see it. Okay. Yeah, I'm not, that was not me ever. Yeah, that never shook my boots. Bill's like 20. I mean, wait a minute here. So let me get my calculator out. So she's 24. Hold on here. John Morgan sending me this. So hang on. This is John Morgan sending me. I'll get to you, Jamison. Hang on here. So here. She's 24. He's 71. Oh, yeah, this is way past my daughter's coolness age. 47-year difference. I don't think that's working. Yeah. My kid's got like a 3-year limit. That's got to be like the 24 age and all that. Anything out of the beyond 5 years and shit, it's not working for her. No way. That's not working. 47 years, I'm assuming that clearly ain't working. All right. SMH, don't get me wrong. I love show bunnies, but sometimes these young ones be gold digging. That's why I'm chasing them. They're nice and they can cook. Oh, yeah. Okay. What, the kicker from this guy? Are you the kicker from the Chiefs? Hey, I like chasing Latinas, and they're nice and they can cook. Okay, what's his name? Buckner? Hey, Jameson Buckner. Hey, let me tell you, man, you ain't getting fed in my house with that attitude. My wife would give you Fritos and a bottle of water and go, get the hell out. Yeah, it ain't working, man. Yeah, no way. Hey, they're cooking. They're nice. So wait a minute. You think like Italian chicks and Latinas are nice? Remember this. Remember something. I'm here to help you. Let me give you the insight on dating the prom queen and marrying her. And I'll do it one last time. I've been married nearly 40 years. Tremendous. Always remember, the more and the better looking, remember, the more pain. Just telling you. Okay, honey. Okay, dear. Oh, man. Belichick. You know what? I'll tell you guys a little story about Bill in New York, why he never got the New York job. Now, this is a fact that a lot of people don't know outside of the media and people who worked in the New York Giant organization. This is a fact. So Belichick was married, and he was the assistant coach, defensive coordinator, New York Giants under Parcells. And there was this really, really great-looking secretary that worked for Wellington Mara. Google it. You'll see. She was a wonderful employee under the Giants. She had worked with the Giants. Her husband was a construction guy who worked in the New Jersey area. So it comes out later on, there was like a 10-year relationship that Belichick was buying her jewelry, taking her out, giving her money, $25,000, $35,000. And it came out that this guy had this 10-year relationship, and it broke his marriage up. And that's why the Giants never had him back as an opportunity to take over as New York Giant head coach, because people in the organization found that appalling, because the girl, there was a settlement, like $3-4 million that he had to settle with that. People don't know that story. That's true. The guy wanted to kill him. Her husband wanted to kill him. He's a big construction guy in Jersey. I don't know. I think he's still got a business there. So Bill's been doing this shit when he was a coordinator with the Giants back in the day. That's a true story. Lawrence Taylor will tell you that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Hit the like button, guys. Let me go into this here. Let's do this. That was really cool of the Buccaneers to invite me to the OTAs. I think that's pretty cool. I really like Todd Bowles. I'm a huge fan of Todd Bowles. All right. Is there one team right now in the NFC that you're concerned about that has maybe closed the gap on the Philadelphia Eagles? Is there one team that has closed that gap? I wrote these teams down: Rams, Packers, Lions, Minnesota, Washington, Dallas, San Francisco, and Tampa Bay. See this here? That's just putting your head in the sand and thinking you're better than you were last year. You're not. Get this. Let's just take this guy. He's not worried about anybody. How could you not be worried about anybody? You're a lesser team. No worries? You're a lesser team. How about this? Let's do this. Are you a lesser football team now with the current roster you have than you were February 9th? Yes or no? Are you a lesser football team than you were February 9th? Yes. Okay. Who else? Are you a lesser football team than you were February 9th? I don't think this. I don't think that. I'm not talking about all teams. I'm talking about the world champions. Are you a lesser team than you? What is that now? Let me see. Let's see here. How many days ago was that? How many days ago was February 9th? 81 days ago. 81 days ago. Are you a lesser team than you were 81 days ago, February 9th? Yes or no? I agree with you. I like that Cardinal team. I think they're doing a lot of good things there. Okay. Rams and Tampa. Again, are you a lesser football team than you were 81 days ago? Yes or no? No. This is not a dialogue. It's a yes or no question. Absolute, says Ken. Been with us a long time. Thank you, Ken. Okay. Jury's still out. He won't answer. So he's not going to answer the truth. He thinks the jury's. I asked you today on May 1st, are you a lesser team than you were 81 days ago? Yes or no? Again, are you a lesser team than you were 81 days ago? Okay. Yes. Holy cow. That took 10 times, but we got there. All right. And I happen to agree with this next one. The question's going to be, for now, what do you think is on the horizon? What's on the horizon? That you're going to have some game-changing play. What's on the horizon? You got to kind of hope what you have turns into being something special. Okay? Right? And by the way, hang on here. I'm just having a convo here. Right? All right. So here, let's do this. Here's the better question. The better question is, what's the gap between these other teams? What do you think the Rams gap is right now? Let's start with the Rams. Would we not agree? The Rams gave you the best test of any team in the postseason. So let's just go there. The Rams. Not agree? The Rams gave you your best test. Jalen Carter played, turned the entire game around. The Rams were driving. So the Rams, how much have they closed the gap? So let's think about it. Where have they gotten better? I think the Rams have gotten better across the board. Plus, their coaching is You don't have better coaching than the Rams do. Like, for everything that Vic Fangio is, Sean McVay is that as well. Again, I completely disagree with John McMullen. I don't know how you sit there and say that a guy who's won in 8 years, 4 division titles, 2 NFC championships, and a Super Bowl is overrated. I'm not sure what you're talking about. How's that overrated? And he's a play caller. I mean, how is he overrated? So he's a good coach. That GM is a heck of a. Les Snead's been in the building for 2 Super Bowls, albeit one was in St. Louis. But he's just got as many Super Bowl wins as Howie Roseman does. They were all working for Charlie Army. Okay? And then Todd Bowles owns Nick Sirianni then. Is that right? Owns them. The youngest D in NFL second year Fangio. Bullish. We'll see. Todd Bowles owns Nick. Owns Nicky Sirianni. So, I think the Rams, again, they have to prove to me that they can stop the run. They really do. If they can prove to me they could stop the run, then I think they're going to be a formidable opponent. Hey, by the way, I'll make this point to you. Don't get anybody hurt on defense. You don't have backups like you did a year ago. Your second team, many of your players are starting across the board in other NFL teams. Your second team was probably as good as any other defense outside the top 5 teams that made the playoffs. You had a great second team. Isaiah Rodgers, Oren Burks. Then you combine the players you lost, and Milton, Josh. You had a bunch of really good ball players. Your second team is not even near what it once was. So don't get hurt. And you're going to go, well, we've retooled. You're out of your minds if you think that all of a sudden guys that don't even know what they're going to be in for tomorrow with their rookie camps are just going to step in for experienced guys. Like I said, I was talking to Xander about this. The reason, like last year, Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, and all the rest of those guys that you had in the building, Oren Burks, Isaiah Rodgers, those were all veterans. You don't have veterans now. You got young players who still have to develop. Developing guys that you've had in the building. Milton was in the building 4 years. Josh 6. And now you got guys in the building that won't be in there for
Uh-oh, where did Big Sills go? He froze in my ear. He froze. Big Sills. See if we can get Big Sills back here. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can get him out of here. This is now the Xander Krause Show. Welcome in, everybody. There he is. Sorry, Big Sills. This is the National Football Show with your host, Xander Krause. Woo! There he is. All right, Sills.
I can't hear.
You can't hear me?
Oh, no, I can't. Are we good?
You're good.
Okay, yeah. No, okay, good. We're good? I can't hear you. We're good.
Yeah,
All right,
you're good.
What's he talking his bullshit? I look at the no holds defense. Okay? See what you guys do? Every time I start kicking shit up, you guys get a little upset with old Big Sills here. Okay? Let me see here. If you can hear him. Yeah. Oh. Because you want to be told what you want to hear. Everybody, we're really great. God. He's a big old bad Sills. We be good. Oh, I know you do, son. That's why you think Moro and Jomo is going to take over from Milton Williams. All right, let me get off the Rams. I think the Rams are a threat to win the NFC. And let's pick a Mike Gill and John McMullen, NFC East champion Washington Commanders. Love you too, bro. Absolutely. The Washington Commanders. So here's what you got to remember when you hear Xander talking about the Commanders taking a step backwards. So the Commanders add players, the Eagles minus players, but the Commanders are going to take a step backwards. Well, Jeremy Tunsil, Deebo Samuel, who'd you add? You're getting rid of a tight end. You're getting rid of star football players on your team, and you're adding the white gorilla. Yeah, I agree with much what you're saying about the Rams, but they still aren't tough and scrappy enough. I happen to agree with that take on them. Rams have to show me that they can play physical football and they can take the physicality of the Eagles. I'll make this point to you. Is there a more physical football team in the NFL than Philly? The only other team that's close is Baltimore. And they handled them. I'm going to tell you this. When I thought you could possibly win the Super Bowl was how you handled Baltimore. That, to me, was the game. Of all the games you played, not even Pittsburgh, little bit Pittsburgh, but was Baltimore. How you handled the Baltimore Ravens and the way you handled them, that was the game that I went, okay, well, that game there shows you, because Baltimore is known for being physical. The Rams aren't. They're not a physical football team. They played physical. They played a lot better in the playoffs. They surely did. They played a lot better. All right? I have never in my entire life shit on Milton Williams. Ever. Did I ever at any time? I said the question mark would be, could he play 17 games? Always been a fan. This guy's a fucking liar, as usual. Made up, fake news. Yes. And that was because also, too, if I'm not right, Leon, hook me up here. I think that the secondary coach of the Eagles, who's now in Tennessee, I believe that he was the secondary coach back in the day when the secondary was being assembled. I thought he was the secondary coach, the guy that you ended up moving off of from being the D coordinator. And I thought he was a good coach, too. I like the guy you have now. I like that entire coaching staff. Seals, do you really think that the players Washington added on defense are enough to handle the Eagle offense? No. No, I don't. No. The Eagle offense has to be kept on the sidelines if you're Washington, which means you need a running back. Okay? You need a running back. Moro Jomo. Who? Or how about, hey, let me ask you something here, kid. You know that guy you signed in the first round? Hook me up here. Did he step on a landmine at the draft or something? Well, what did I miss? This guy rolls into Philly. Hey, man, he's got two bad shoulders and two bad knees. I was like, what was he? Like a military guy? What did he do? Drop him out of an airplane? I mean, what happened to this guy? This guy stepped on a grenade. Two shoulders, two knees. I mean, what happened to the guy? Holy cow. Hey, you see the guy, Jihad Campbell? Yeah, he's a really great player. What happened to him? Yeah, no, he's got two injuries to his knees and two shoulder injuries. Yeah, get this. Maro Ajomo is not a run stopper. He's a one-down situational defensive end. He can't play the run. He's not a good run player. He's not a good run defender, which means this. He's in the same position as Jordan Davis is. It's just different. Jordan's a good run stopper. He's not. He's not. Okay? I mean, that's not what Moro Jomo's known for. He's a pass rusher. He's undersized. And you're going to play him at left end. Okay? Neither was Milton a year ago. No, that's right. Milton Williams is a sorry-ass run stopper and a sorry-ass pass rusher, and that's why he got $26 million per. Probably so. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And the other guy in the other end got 20. So wait a minute here. Think about this for a second here. So you had two guys on your D-line that made $47 million, right? And new contracts this year. Now, you're probably right. They suck. And you're going to replace them with Izizi Acho and Moro Jomo. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is going to be a fun year, man. I see it already. Holy shit, man. The questionable, hey, Xander had the no-holds defense. This will be the questionable defense. John McMullen's got him finishing 28th. As an Eagle fan who watched every game with an Eagle eye, Milton Williams was not the difference maker You worry about losing too much. Carter took the brunt of the double teams. Easy hold to fill. That's an absolute bullshit comment. You're not looking at what he brought you. You're looking at the versatility he brought you. Jason, eagle eye. Well, then you'd know that he could play multiple positions because he's versatile. You don't have a versatile defensive lineman on your football team right now except for Jalen Carter. They're all one-dimensional guys. Name me one. Name me one guy that's an interior defensive lineman or a guy that's going to play on the edge like your defensive ends. Moro Jomo's not. I mean, the guy you just signed, maybe. The guy you just drafted. Nolan's going to play defensive end at 6'2", 235, and the guy's constantly banged up and he's undersized. You're going to put him out there on – he's a weak side outside linebacker. Hey, that's not where you're lining him up. Let's look at the defense here. You're not lining him up as an end. You're lining him up as an edge. Outside OLB, weak side. He's going to be the will. You're trying to make him – look at this guy. You're going to put Nolan Smith. How stupid is that? Another dumb comment. Let's see. Ajomo and Carter are your two ends. Ajomo's one-dimensional. Carter's not. He can play 3, 4, 5, and he's a good pass rusher. And he's a good on the run. Absolutely. They got Bryce Huff over here as your strong side linebacker and Nolan on your weak side linebacker. I don't know where. Probably they'll play Campbell on the strong side linebacker. Or maybe even Dean's spot. I don't know. I would play him here where Bryce Huff is. Here's the defense now as aligned. By the way, they don't even have him listed. Oh, yeah, they do. They got Campbell listed with a Q because he's injured. Moro Jomo, one-dimensional pass rusher. Can't play the run. Ty Robinson. I believe he can play both, run and pass. Jordan Davis, one-dimensional. Not a pass rusher. Jalen Carter, extremely versatile. Nolan Smith. We'll see. I think he's shown signs of looking like a player. I like Jalix Hunt better. Zach Bond, outstanding. Jacoby Dean, I don't know. He'll never get a second contract in Philadelphia. No way. What are you going to pay him? $20 million? Are you going to pay him 18? Are you going to pay him the same as Zach? How many people believe that Jacoby Dean's getting a second contract in Philly? How many people believe he'll get a second contract? That's got to be like what? 18 million? 50-50. Would you pay a guy you didn't need in the Super Bowl $18 million? Hey, David, would you pay a guy you didn't need to win the Super Bowl? Would you? No, we'll see. It's a question. Pay him 11? Why? I had a free agent play better. He had 46 tackles in the postseason. Why would I pay anybody 11 when I don't have to? Why would I pay a guy $11 million? So wait a minute here. Look at this. Let's go by Xander's thought. And not wrong. You want to pay him $16.5, Davis. Going to pay $40 for the other guy. Your linebacker's making $17.5 now, and you want to pay Jacoby $11. Okay, that's $47 million for the two tackles, and that's another $30. So you got $77 million between Jacoby Dean, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and Zach Bond. You got $77 million. Well, how much you paying Reed Blankenship. We can pay him 10. Okay, well, there's 87. Remember, you're already spending $238 million in the offense. 228, excuse me. So right now, you're at $325 million. The cap's 271. Where are we going here? Oh boy. Unbelievable. Yeah. All right. That's all right. I got you covered here, man. $350, but okay. I'll make you 1 point here, kid. Okay. Eagles aren't caring about a salary cap. They're caring about salary. That's what your cuts are, or your movement is this year. You had no savings at all in any way on getting rid of Gardner Johnson. You just didn't want to pay him $11.5 this year. I mean, you didn't want to pay $26 million for the guy. You didn't want to pay $19 for Josh Sweat, who was the MVP defensively in the Super Bowl. You didn't want to do that. And get this, you're paying Bryce Huff $1.5 million more. No, excuse me. Sweat's making only $1.5 million more than what Bryce Huff makes. How do you swing that? A second-team outside linebacker makes $1.5 million less than Josh Sweat. And Sweat's only 28, right? He's cheap. He's young. Sweat overpaid? No, but not Bryce Huff. Not Bryce Huff, though. No, because he's an Eagle. Bryce Huff's not overpaid. Not him. Huff's 24. Hey, Huff's 24. It shows the 18's worth it. You gotta love it. I'm sorry, man. You guys make me laugh. Yeah. All right, let me do this, man. Hey, our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, make sure you check our friends out. John's blowing me up on this Belichick thing. Crazy, man. Make sure you check him out, folks. He's #1 injury law firm in the United States. There for you with thousands of attorneys across the nation to protect you and your families, to make sure they are protected when wrongdoing comes and insurance companies want to come in with these BS claims. Promise you, the #1 reason that they are the #1 injury law firm in America is because they win. Check out my great friends at forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES. Eagles.
I think there's going to be a great year for content. Yes, sir, baby. 81 days ago. Now, here we are. What will be as the Eagle turns? Oh, this is getting better and better, man. I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming aboard. Don't forget tomorrow, 2 to 6 Eastern time, and we shall see you on the flip side.